How's it going, everybody? I uh I don't have a whole lot of time, and I don't have m- much desire to sit around and wait today. So I kind of want to just jump right into it. But before we do, how's everybody doing? We kicking it, we chilling, we having a good time. If you've been having a good day so far, I hope to either continue it if you are on my side of things with this, or absolutely obliterate it if you enjoy Jimmy Dore. Because we are going to go over 3 videos I picked at random. I have not seen any of these. I just picked 3 headlines that Jimmy posted. And I'm going to go over each of them. And we're going to shit all over him. Because Jimmy Dore is a fucking idiot. Do I have to do any research? I may have to on the fly. Because there may be some things that I don't know. But overall, I don't think I'm going to need to make Jimmy Dore look like an idiot. However, before that, Louder with Crowder versus H3 podcast. He's not going against Ethan. So this thumbnail is a little misleading.
I don't think I've ever seen a more perfect encapsulation of groupthink.
The CDC is like this whole governmental body. Just tell us what to do. You don't have to think about it, dude. Obviously, my point is that if you're so fucking stupid, then yeah, you should listen to the CDC, bro.
You and I can talk about it. It is appointed to a man once to be invited on the show. And if you don't, if you decline, and everyone now knows that you will, but I will never address you again, I bet this guy's going to do anything he can to avoid actually debating.
I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
I had no idea this was going to happen. You know,
Steven, you're wearing
that we
a holster.
agreed. Yeah? So?
He's going on to the H3 podcast tomorrow, but I think Sam Seder is going to be the one to debate him. I think it's going to be Sam. And this makes me very happy because Crowder has dodged debating Sam Seder for like 3 years at this point. And it's fucking pathetic. Like this is going to be hilarious. And then there's nothing else relevant from Steven Crowder because nothing he ever does is relevant. Like at all. So, fuck off, Steven. Get destroyed. Alright, let's get into the Jimmy bullshit. Okay, actually, let me go ahead and click this. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Jimmy's a very successful grifter. Thomas, or Tomas, however you pronounce that particular spelling. I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah, no, Jimmy is absolutely a more successful grifter than me. He's been doing it for fucking years. Years. Meanwhile, I didn't start doing any political content, completely in earnest until roughly November of last year. Before that, I just did games. Like, you can... I hate to pull this one on y'all, but you can just look here at my channel. And we'll just hit here. Go to videos. Okay, we're going to scroll down. Let's see. Political stuff 6 months ago. 6 months ago. Cover news. Trying new software. Sandwhichpants versus conservatives. 6 months ago. Boom. 6 months ago. 8 months ago. VP debate. Before that, 2 years ago. Bloodborne session. Which I'd never played Bloodborne before. Destiny. For Honor. Destiny. 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 I played Destiny. For years. The channel's been around for a while. But yeah, 5 years that I've had this channel, and up until 8 months ago, it was all gaming. This is my first political video that I ever did. So to address this thing right here, that yeah, he's definitely a more successful grifter because I'm not a grifter. He's been grifting for years, and I've been doing sincere political content for 8 months. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll lay out a solid theme, a thread that runs through every single one of these fucking videos, and throughout the entirety of the Jimmy Dore channel. To be completely honest.
Hey, this is Jimmy. Who's this? Hello.
Oh, come on, man. Stop it. It's Joe Biden. And firstly, okay, bye.
Wait, Joe. People are saying you showed signs of dementia during the G7 summit. How do you respond to that, buddy?
TV shows on the radio show monkey ears. Bazinga bazoom.
Okay, so this is just a bullshit supposed comedy thing, making fun of somebody for dementia. Holy shit! If I had known that this was something that I would come across, I didn't even know that this video existed. How has nobody brought this up? The sheer ableism, making fun of dementia. And he's laughing. I'm fucking not. This man disgusts me.
I understand.
Oh, and then the one person in the background who laughed, and I'm sure the 7 other people there are cringing so fucking hard. They're gonna get fired because they were cringing.
But you confused Syria for Libya 3 times.
Of course I did. I was extemporizing. You get credit for that in politics.
But you were reading from a speech, Joe.
I just said that. Are you crazy? What countries again?
Syria and Libya, Joe.
Look, I did not confuse Serena for labia 3 times. Get off it, sister. We have important work to do, and this constant complaining over stupid details isn't helping. You're dividing us. Me, them, everybody.
But you clearly confused the countries 3 times, Joe.
Yes, misspeaking happens, especially when you get older. He has a stutter. So far, there haven't actually been signs of dementia. Like actual, real signs of dementia. Trust me. Seriously, trust me on this one. I've had to deal with it. Joe Biden doesn't really seem to show signs of dementia. And this is a 3-minute bit, and that's fucking gross. I'm cringing so fucking hard. Less than a minute and 30 seconds in. I was cringing at 20 seconds in. Can I withstand this level of fucking cringe?
I am not demented.
Ah.
I know the difference between labia and Lydia. Firstly, they're 2 countries. Secondly, Donald Trump slowly walked down a ramp after holding a glass with 2 hands. I beat that. I fell up some stairs and recovered. You know how much mental acuity it takes to do that?
And what difference does any of that make?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Because he's unfit for office, that's what. And that's why I need your vote on Tuesday. Can I count on you?
You won the election already, Joe.
Yeah, but how about this Congress? They refuse to get anything done. My hands are tied.
No, but do you really know the difference between Syria and Libya?
Of course I do.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this one up because it's funny to me. Jimmy Dore is criticizing, trying to make fun of Joe Biden for saying Libya instead of Syria when this stupid motherfucker didn't even know what the Kurds were or Rojava was. Okay? I never want to hear him criticize somebody on foreign affairs ever again. Because this stupid motherfucker didn't know that what the Kurds were, the ethnic group, or what Rojava was. You know, for somebody who claims to be a leftist, a political commentator, news broadcaster, he is certainly really underinformed on things that most 16-year-old leftists on fucking Facebook and Twitter seem to know. He's really underinformed on those things. Maybe Jimmy Dore should hand off his show to somebody who fucking knows better.
Lydia and Somalia work down at the Cheesecake Factory.
No, Syria and
Yeah, I'm cringing way too hard on this fucking comedy bit. This is absolutely disgusting. Look at these 6,000 fucking terrible fucking. I hate people like this. All right, actual political commentary instead of cringy failed attempts at comedy that are mostly just ableism and hypocrisy together.
this article. First of all, Ralph Nader tweeted this out. It's an article from the Chicago Reader. No, I'm from Chicago, and I like the Chicago Reader a lot. And it's an article. By the way, what happened to the squad? The question. I guess we'll have to go on Twitch to find out. I don't know. I don't know how you find out. What happened to the squad? There hasn't been a tweet in over 30 minutes.
Oh my God, are they doing okay?
Our healthcare system is designed to maximize profit, barely functions in the best of times. Now in the pandemic, the wheels have come off. Consequently, Medicare for all is more popular than ever, favored by 85% of the Democratic voters and about half of Republican voters.
Okay. Now, see, because you know how YouTube works, I have to make some sort of input every so often. Here's the question that I want to pose to Jimmy Dore. Do you actually think that the squad can do whatever the fuck they feel like? Do you believe this? Is this something that is in your head, that the squad is the one thing that they just need to coalesce together and they can get Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, good infrastructure? What do you expect? What is your expectation here from like 7 people out of over 400 people? There's a certain threshold on votes that you have to be able to reach to get bills passed. Oh, and you would also have to get it into the president's desk, which it's Joe Biden. Now, he did say that if a fully fleshed out uh, finance language bill appeared in front of his desk and it was agreeable, it passed with some bipartisan support, that he would sign it. However, this is a cop out because there's the some bipartisan support. No Republican supports Medicare for all. Most of them, almost all of them, want to overturn Obamacare because they want you to die. The squad in itself cannot force this on to the floor. They can't do it. They don't have the power. They don't have the standing. They don't have the leverage. They have nothing that they can do at this time in this regard. Bring up some big budget reconciliation bill. You may be able to try and force the vote again on it because that is something a little bit different. It has more substantial weight to it than what Jimmy Dore was suggesting. Oh, we'll just hold up the fucking vote for the Speaker of the House. Yeah, okay, that's dumb as fuck, and she was always going to be put in regardless of if they tried to force the vote or not. That was not a question. You think Pelosi couldn't get some Republicans to flip and vote for her since they didn't have near enough votes to vote for the fucking Republican to get the House, the Speaker seat? No. She is more than capable of giving away some concessions to Republicans over Democrats, over lefties, for her seat. And she would do it. Why wouldn't she work with an old Republican in the fucking House when she's done it for decades? Why the fuck wouldn't she? You guys keep saying that the Democrats and the Republicans are the same, but you expect Nancy Pelosi to cave to lefty demands over Republican concession? What the fuck do you think is going to happen? Seriously. The number one linchpin in your thing, in all of Jimmy Dore's strategies, seem to be that the squad can force this thing and that will put pressure on Pelosi to cave to their demands. When in actuality, the more likely thing is that Pelosi will go and make a deal with the fucking GOP, the conservatives, and get them to slide on over and vote for this thing that the squad was holding up. That's just the reality, okay? And you have to be a complete fucking moron to think that hinging everything on Pelosi caving to lefties is a viable strategy. I'm sorry, it's not. Because she won't. She'll give lip service to one thing that they may ask for and in some small manner, and they'll get GOP concessions. They'll demand the bare minimum. You know, lefties will be like, oh no, I'll hold this up until you put in Medicare for all. And they'll go, what if we put in language for a public option that'll get stripped when it hits the Senate? What about that? And then if they say, no, we demand Medicare for all, she'll go, hey, you, McCarthy, we've worked together for a while. Name some sort of small concession on this bill that would get you to come over here and vote. And then the squad is stuck, sitting there, looking dumb, while the collective rest of Congress gets to go, oh yes, this passed with bipartisan support. Only the leftists didn't support this. Because they were too steadfast in trying to get this outrageous thing put in. And that's literally what will happen. I've been going off on this because Jimmy Dore is such a fucking idiot. He literally hinges all of his strategies on Pelosi caving to lefties. And why would she do that?
Yet Democratic Party leaders still refuse to even hold hearings on the bill. Wow. It's almost like public opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, you fucking think that's not a hot take, you stupid shit. The question is do you come up with a dumb fuck strategy hinged on Democratic leaders caving to the demands of lefties, which will never happen? Or do you vote in more lefties to replace party leadership? Surprise, surprise. You can do the other one and still be performing like as an individual, like direct action and like do your activism and you could even like do other things like calling Congress people and demanding votes on certain things. Because here's the deal with leftists, you're not constrained to voting and you're not constrained to direct action. You can do both things. Both. Both of them. You can start up mutual aid like areas in your neighborhood, in your community, and you can also go and vote in your local elections and the federal elections. Like you can do these things. I have faith in you. I trust that you can do this. Jimmy doesn't though. See, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna
When it
continue
comes
on.
to health care. Just a few years ago, Democratic voters elected a group of progressives who promised to go to Washington, D.C. and start a political revolution. Just for the record, they get an A in revolution starting. I'm sorry. They don't get an A.
Okay, let's just I wanna see something. 868,000 subscribers. Well, I'm sorry. Um, do you have 12 million followers, Jimmy Dore? As a matter of fact, we'll do a one-to-one comparison. We'll do your Twitter versus hers. Wait, that's Jimmy Snow, not Jimmy Dore. God damn it. Where is it? That isn't it. Uh, Jimmy Dore show. Here. 20.8K followers. 20.8K followers. 12.7 million. I don't know. She started more of a revolution than you ever have, Jimmy. So let's let's step back a little bit and remember your fucking place.
In revolution starting. That was what I was supposed to say.
That place being a regular worker with a moderate amount of influence, but definitely not a revolution starter. You've done less to start a revolution than AOC, which, granted, she hasn't done an amazing job at starting a goddamn revolution in this country. I'll tell you that. But she has awoken a sleeping beast. The amount of progressives that are waking up to it in this country is just becoming astronomical. The issue we have, and something that you actively fight against, is having people go and vote. You don't tell people to go and vote. Now, I've mentioned this in other streams. There are strategies that you can take. As a matter of fact, I think I have it here somewhere. Yeah, okay. Check it out. You got national strategy. This is most like these two are for voting. You vote for as far left as possible in the primaries. So, for example, in the last election, you vote for Bernie, and if he loses, like he did to Biden, you vote for the lesser of two evils. So you vote for Joe Biden because there is a strong duopoly on the federal level that is pretty much unbreakable at this point. I do not believe that there's actually a way to break the duopoly in DC without starting over somehow or massive changes to legislation. Like, you can't do it the way we have it right now. We need voter reform. We need to eliminate first past the post and put in ranked choice. Shit like that. And then we can break the duopoly. But as things sit without voter reform, no, it is not happening. So, unless we get major fucking reforms, election reforms between now and then that actually implement, you know, ranked choice, then we're not getting it. So, you have to do the better thing and vote for the lesser of two evils in the general. And I know some people are going to be, oh, he thinks Biden is the lesser of two evils. Look at all the stuff that Biden's been doing. Biden has done more good than he has harm, unlike Trump, who dealt more harm than he did good. I'm not saying that Biden is good. I'm saying that he was a better choice. So that's a very thin distinction, but it is there. All right. And then in the local elections, like, county and city and state and all the municipal shit, you 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 vote left. You just put leftist votes out. Vote for the DSA. Vote for the fucking Green Party. Like, do what you need to do to get a lefty into your local area, because what you need to do for major reforms like that is you have to get people in at the ground level. You have to show people in your local area that what you are pushing for works. That's why you always hear fucking brain dead people saying, oh, why don't you just start socialism in a city? You can't actually do that because you can't democratize the workplace and shit like that, but you can improve things with more socialistic policy. It's not that hard to understand, let's face it. And then with your non-electoral stuff, you do your direct action, your mutual aids, your community outreach, homeless sheltering, networking for homeless employment, and ethical workplaces like co-ops. You start a co-op if you can get people together and you can get a decent loan from a bank for it. And it's not easy, but it's stuff that can be done. Okay? Jimmy doesn't tell you to do any of this. Like, I was subscribed to Jimmy for like 2 years. I watched his shit. I never heard him. I mean, he talked about unionization of the workplace, but I've never heard him mention any sort of direct action. I've never heard him tell you to actually go and vote for a decent candidate at all. The candidate that he backed the hardest was Tulsi fucking Gabbard. And guess what? Tulsi was definitely not a progressive. She was anti-war, she was anti-establishment, but she was not a progressive. As is evidenced by her slew of transphobic bills and shit as she was leaving office. Not a progressive. And Jimmy backed her. Made excuses for her when she dumped Medicare for all. Straight up made excuses for her. I watched those clips. I watched them happen. I didn't stay subscribed to Jimmy for the entire time that I did watch some of his content, but I did go back and check some of it. And that particular thing right there made me just go, oh no, he's not. He's not.
Led by Alexander of New York, the
Really? Fucking really?
squad
But
in revolution starting. That was what I was supposed to say. Led by Alexander of New York, the squad promised to take on the corporate wing of the Democratic Party and fight for programs that benefit.
okay, no, I'm sorry. I have to.
Led by Alexander of New York, the squad promised to take on the corporate wing of the Democratic.
I had to make a little clip. How's about we? Why don't we go have some fun right here? Media. Videos. That'd be this one because it's the only thing I have. Let's make sure that it plays properly.
Of New York, led by Alexander of New York.
There we go.
Democratic Party and fight for programs that benefit working people over the donor class. First on their list was Medicare for all.
Yeah, and guess what? She has done a pretty good job of taking on the corporate wing of the Democratic Party to fight for programs that benefit working people over the donor class. It's just that she can't win every fucking battle. You have to know when to pick and choose them. And guess what? She's smarter than Jimmy Dore is. I'm curious, does he actually have a degree in anything?
That was first on their list. Boy, this guy at the Reader really first on their list was Medicare for all. And now it's not even on their list. Now they say if we vote on it, it'll be banned. So let's not even talk about it. And they're not. It is sad to report that in just a few short years, the squad has collapsed into a puddle of excuses and Twitter spats. And a few emojis, too. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has demanded all hands on deck to protect the party's donors in this unique time of crisis.
And yeah, this is a slip up that I think the squad did, is to get donor protections. I'm pretty sure that is not a thing that they should be doing. I'm like fairly certain that they shouldn't be giving protections to the donor class. And yes, he does have a degree um, in marketing communications. So he has okay, and let's just oh what's this? What is this? Ocasio-Cortez graduated cum laude from Boston University in 2011 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in both international relations and economics. Oh, oh my God! She has relevant degrees for fucking politics. What? Came in second in the microbiology category of the Intel International Space and Engineering Fair in 2007 with a research project on the effect of antioxidants on the lifespan of nematode. Do you see this shit? In a show of appreciation of her efforts, the MIT Lincoln Laboratory named a small asteroid after her, 23238 Ocasio-Cortez. In high school, she took part in the National Hispanic Institute Lorenzo de Zavala Youth Legislative Session. She became the LDZ Secretary of State while she attended Boston University. She had a John F. Lopez Fellowship. After graduating high school, she enrolled in Boston University. She had to go through a lengthy probate battle, first-hand terms, blah, 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 blah. During college, she served as an intern for U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy, and it's like, let, let's see. Jimmy Dore, I didn't see anything in there about him doing like any work in DC or having any knowledge of politics or anything in his degree that indicated that he knew about politics or any of this shit. So I'm I'm entirely uh, astounded that this dumb fuck thinks he can do political analysis and criticize AOC for being smarter than him.
And the squad has fallen in line. All hands on deck for the donors. Dinners are $10,000 a plate. Because of the Democrats' slim majority in the House, just a handful of progressives had the power to demand a vote on Medicare for all if they chose to exercise that power on behalf of working people. The squad did finally coordinate their votes last month,
Oh,
but it was not to help working people. What was it there? It was there. So the 3 out of the 6 squad members, including AOC, agreed to vote present
wow.
to assure the passage of a bill to increase the funding of the Capitol Police by almost $2 billion.
Yeah, I actually have hugely mixed feelings about this. I think the Capitol. I don't know what the budget of the Capitol Police was. I just no. I want your funding. Okay. Okay. So it's an average growth rate of 7.4%. Which okay, yeah. I don't think that they actually needed that. I truly feel that that was a horrible move. Yeah, that was my boss. Fucking shit. Yeah, no. So she should not have she should not have voted for that increase or voted president. She should have voted no, because I mean,
All 6 members of the squad told activist groups that they opposed the bill. But then behind closed doors, they coordinated their votes so that the bill could pass by a 1 vote margin. So they are coordinating their votes.
are you sure that they coordinated their votes? Are you sure about that? I'm not saying that they did or didn't, but I'm skeptical of an article in a random public newspaper having that level of information.
They're just not going to coordinate their votes to help you or to fight for you. They're going to coordinate their votes to screw you and to fund the police. Even worse, the squad have run interference for President Biden, discouraging their millions of followers on social media from demanding that he keep his campaign promises. I know, it's amazing. Biden has already abandoned every promise he made to working.
No, he actually hasn't abandoned all of them. He hasn't. Okay? Especially since there's a criticism for Bernie here, actually. The budget reconciliation bill that Bernie is proposing just lowers the Medicare eligibility by 5 years. But I'm pretty sure it has a promise to negotiate drug prices. And the $15 an hour minimum wage, they're actually drafting these legislation. I think it's going to be put up for a vote. I've heard rumors. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I've heard rumors. Biden has actually mentioned it a few times. He's said, hey, get on it. Like, you guys need to draft legislation and vote on it. Problem is, we still have Manchin and Sinema who dunked on it last time. They just said no. I don't know what the fuck you expect to do again when you've got them. Do you want it watered down? Do you want a $12 an hour one? That's what they're proposing. Do you want to stick hard to your guns and never get it passed? I don't know what you want. I don't know what to do about that particular situation. That one's not good. It's just face it, it's just not good. So the $15 an hour minimum wage, it's something that, I mean, even Biden has mentioned it. He did a executive order. Ooh, excuse me. Biden executive orders list. You just go here to the Wikipedia one, and I think it's down here. Oh, it's longer than the one that I had. Where is it? Protecting the federal workforce. There's one of them that's $15 an hour minimum wage for government employees, increasing minimum wage for federal contractors, which he has specifically stated that he did, and the main criticisms of it were that it was going to cost taxpayer money, and he said no, it won't, because when you give the people being paid lower more money, they put it back into the economy, and it raises the entire economy up, so it will not cost any money. It will actually gain money. You know, it's kind of weird how that works, right? Worker organizing and empowerment. He's put together an executive order for some federal worker, essentially like unionization, promote access to voting, which is pretty good. And then some of these are newer ones that I haven't gone over yet because they have updated since I did my last look. But There's also the PRO Act that is something he was heavily pushing, which is a labor organ, like a pro worker bill for labor organizing, collective bargaining, better union strength, shit like that. Why do people think that he doesn't do anything for the left? I mean, he also does some really bad things and caters to the right on issues, like with immigration and doing the whole like allowing. Well, I think that was the Supreme Court that did the upholding LGBTQ adoption things for uh, uh, the Catholic Church on their side of things. Pretty sure that was Supreme Court, but uh, I'm not really happy that he was plugging those gaps in the border wall with it, but the material was already there, so I understand not wasting material, but at the same time, like fuck it. Like I don't care. I don't want the border wall at all. I think they should just take it down instead of having plugged the holes, but I don't have any control over that, and that's not, I mean, it's bad, but it's not the worst thing he could have done. He's not continuing the actual construction of the fucking wall. They essentially just put up some panels that were already constructed at the area. He's well, the detention centers that are still housing children is definitely bad. So there's criticisms of Joe Biden bombing Syria. It's not really good. Uh, I can't really see the only way I can see the bombing of Syria being not a good thing, but a less egregious thing. Let's get that one clear right here. Less egregious is if he was defending Rojava from militant attacks against it. And I've heard arguments that that is a factor in what he was doing, but I don't necessarily believe those. It may have been a factor, but he also still just went over and just bombed fucking Syria, so, not good.
People, including a $15 minimum wage, a public.
Oh, yeah, and then the Trump immigration judges. That's also bad. Let's be honest here. So Biden has places to be criticized, but let me get through these and
Public option to compete with the for-profit insurance industry, forgiveness of student loan debt, lowering the
uh, what did he do anything about that? I think he did. Biden student loan forgiveness plan. This was June 2nd. This was almost a month ago, and this was 2 days ago. Okay, here we go. Targeted student loan relief. So not a. I mean, he never said he was going to forgive all student loan debt. I'm pretty sure that that is not a thing that Biden ever actually said. I think he said working on forgiving student loan debt, but not that he would just like wipe out student loan debt. That's more of a Bernie Sanders proposal, let's face it. So he'll probably run with that he did a targeted thing. So, uh, which had by then repeatedly proposed eliminating the program. By fewer than 2,500 borrowers received loan forgiveness by the end of November 2020, between the end of November 2020 and April 2021. Okay, to be fair, you can't measure the end of November. He didn't take office until January. You really can't count that. Just in all fairness, you cannot count that. That is still Trump area. Trump area. The final months of the Trump administration and the first few of the Biden administration, which they. Oh, okay. Yep. New way data is reported. Kind of fucked with that. 130,000 borrowers who applied or requested an update on the progress. We're still waiting for answers at the end of April, so they're overloaded. It seems data indicate that 1.25 million borrowers have taken some steps to participate in the program since 2012 and have not yet obtained loan forgiveness. Which this is true. I never did. I just had to sit there and pay it off, which mine wasn't a huge amount because I only went to one semester before I got into a wreck that fucked me over for like life. But What's next? The Biden administration plans to revise the regulations governing public service loan forgiveness. Okay. Though it hasn't been exactly said. To automatically cancel debt of borrowers who have been working in public service for at least 10 years, regardless of whether they meet the program's other criteria. That's fair. They've been working in public service for 10 years. They've contributed back to society more than anything. Like, they should not. Yeah. I don't think that you should have to pay for college anyways, but with how milquetoast Biden does a lot of these things, yeah, okay. Anyways, back to this dumb fuck.
The Medicare eligibility age and a promise to negotiate.
Hmm, Bernie Sanders budget reconciliation Medicare eligibility age. That's the recovery plan. That is not what I need. Or is it? I just saw it earlier. People were criticizing him about it. I can't find it right now, but whatever. He didn't really have. It was pretty milquetoast. He was lowering the eligibility age to like 60 instead of 65, so it's pretty bad. Bernie criticism right here. That was nowhere near enough, but I think he's old, he's tired, and he's playing it safe with this one because it's such a huge fucking plan outside of that. I mean, it's $6 trillion. That's a lot of fucking money. I mean, it's not that much for the government, but it's a lot of fucking money.
Drug prices. Oh, and getting kids out of cages.
Biden didn't necessarily say he was going to get kids out of cages. He just said that it was bad that Trump did it, okay? He's got it out for that. Biden also wants to put kids in cages. Let's face it. We all knew that one was going to be a thing. Now, we are hoping that there would be more done about, from the progressive side of things to put pressure on getting them out of there. But I never thought that Biden would actually get the kids out of cages. He may have said it. I don't remember, personally. But guess what? I never believed that he would do it. It's Biden. The most I hoped for on that front was that he would stop putting more people in cages overall. Lower that, stop building the wall, and be more humane with immigration. Now, I understand that the best option was Bernie. I voted for Bernie. Win in the primary, vote Bernie. But no, couldn't.
Yet AOC asserted that Biden has exceeded her expectations, while Representative Pramila Jayapal gave Biden an A grade for his performance thus far.
Okay, I don't agree with an A grade, but he's gonna. I'm gonna make a prediction here. He's gonna harp on the AOC saying that Biden exceeded her expectations. Um, he technically exceeded mine. He has done better than I thought he was going to do. This does not mean he's done good. This A grade, no.
I thought the A was for he's being an alternative to what he promised. Hey, what passes for the left of the Democratic Party has mastered the art of performative resistance. They tweet out anti-establishment rhetoric. This guy's good. But behind closed doors, they play for team.
Is this guy Jimmy Dore? Because Jimmy Dore is the only person who would fucking comment shit like
Team Blue,
shit like this.
which means they play for Team United Healthcare.
He's the only person
Team
he
Humana,
cares about.
And
That's the big deal. He is the only person he cares about. Why the fuck do you think he comes out there and screams about how people are cowards and they don't have any credibility if they don't go on his show. You need to come on my show, people with more subscribers, people with more followers. You have to come on my show. No. Why are you such a fucking shithead?
And Team Raytheon. That's what people don't get. The collapse of the squad shows that change will not come from inside the Democratic Party. The two corporate parties that control Washington, D.C. are rotten to the core.
This is just more. This is more baiting for people to go try and vote for a third party. Which I mean, if you can get enough people, if you can get a guaranteed like 8%, then you can get a seat in Congress. If you can get somebody elected that's in an off party, you can get a seat in Congress. Getting everybody who wants to vote for, trying to get enough people to vote for a third candidate, a singular third candidate, no, not happening. I guarantee it. Look what happened last election. People wanted to get everybody to vote for Howie Hawkins, and some leftists still voted for Joe. Not Biden, Joe Jorgensen. Jojo. Ora. What are you doing? Why are you voting for Joe Jorgensen? Why? Like, the platform doesn't make sense. Not for a leftist to vote for. You had a better platform with Howie. Howie's platform was actually better than Bernie's. Bernie was just the most likely person from the inside of Washington to be able to do anything that far, to be elected and do well. Bernie wasn't as far to the left as Howie, at least in proposals. I think Bernie actually is like full on lefty. Like I think he's a crypto commie. Let's face it, because his rhetoric and everything like that is is very couched, and a lot of the policies that he seems to like push towards when he's actually in the Senate and he's yelling at people is astronomically left. I don't know if you guys have ever just sat down and watched like a Senate meeting and they're voting on shit or they're, debating a bill or something. Bernie goes the fuck off, okay? Y'all should really look into that.
It's a fool's errand to think that we can make the Democrats fight for working people while the party's major donors are telling them to keep the status quo. It's time for progressives to walk away from the Democratic Party and support a third party that is free of corporate influence. It is time to support a corporate party. I mean, a non-corporate third party. It is time. Now, whether that's a movement for a People's Party with Nick Bronner, whether that's the Green Party, whether
Oh, and see, that's something else I forgot. This dumbass went to work on making another party when there's the Green Party. Why, if you want to get a third party actually elected, would you make another party when you could just push the Green? This doesn't make any sense. The political strategy is non-existent. Why do we need to make more and more lefty parties that will just fracture any lefty solidarity? You should be pushing the big one. Come on. What are you doing? This is so dumb. I keep peeking out my microphone. I need to just, I guess I need to turn it down. But holy shit, this just absolutely blows my mind. Like, I can't. I can't. This does not make sense to me.
Whether that socialist alternative, to vote for these two parties again, you're complicit. So get behind a third party.
Oh, and no, not necessarily, because you can vote for third parties and shit. Like I said, in my document, I'll pull it up again. I'll just leave it pulled up because people are gonna be pulling in, so I'm gonna have to explain this, and I don't want to have to pull it up. Lefty strats, woo diddly do. Until we get voter reform, until we get election reform, this is what I think is the most optimal strategy. Okay, we need to get like ranked choice voting, and then we can just go hog fucking wild with the parties. But because of the structure of the duopoly consolidating power more and more and more in its own hands, every single election cycle that passes, it becomes harder and harder to break. And after about, I don't know, 6 election cycles, it becomes nearly impossible to break. And when do you think the duopoly really settled in? Definitely more than 6 election cycles ago, y'all. So with the current system of voting, we need to change. We need election reform. But until we get that election reform, you need to vote as far left in the primaries as you initially can for like national elections. This right here, national elections, the presidency and shit. Now, when it comes to the Senate and Congress and stuff, this still kind of applies. Um, you just vote as far left as you can, straight up. you you get the most left person as much support as possible, and if they don't succeed, they don't get past the voting threshold or whatever, they get knocked down. You do need to vote for the lesser of two evils in the general, because until we again, if you just if I mean, if you get literally every lefty to pull their fucking vote away. And now this depends on how many people who are lefties that are younger, about to become 18 in the next election. I don't kind of keep track of that kind of shit because that seems weird to me, you know? Oh, thank you, ice cold beverage. But yeah, that's pretty much what he does. Sorry, back onto the strategy. So, in you have to bite the bullet on your national elections and vote for the lesser of two evils. We'll take the last election as an example. You vote for Bernie because he's as far left as possible in the primaries, unless you had like Green Party candidates available on your ballot. I did not. None of that. Not in my state. There was no Green Party. There was no write-in. In the general, you vote lesser of two evils. If the lefty candidate is the if the lefty is the chosen candidate, you obviously vote for them. So if like Bernie had been chosen, you would vote for him. But instead, you vote for Joe Biden because he is less harm. Not that he's good, but he is less harm overall than Donald Trump was. I do not agree with the accelerationism, so don't even bring that shit into my chat, please. Uh, and then in the local elections, you just vote left. You just push left. Everything you do, you try and you vote in the city, in the state, in your local. If there's a fucking county meeting, if there's a fucking city meeting, if there's a neighborhood meeting, you left. And you try and convince people of lefty values. And you try and just like it's what you do. And then with your non-electoral shit, you do all your direct action. I just laid out some examples here of like mutual aid and community outreach, and then you can try and do like homeless sheltering, or trying to start a co-op and then hire homeless people. Like get homeless people in on it. It's a system. There's more that you can do. Why did I close that? Because there's gonna be more people tuning in, and I'm gonna be saying shit, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you don't understand." So we'll just do that. Okay. Okay.
Party and work for it. And again, there's a lot of people. Well, here's what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says about.
In what you said earlier, too, I wanted to go back to what you said about our left party. We don't have a left party in the United States. The Democratic Party is not a left party. The Democratic Party is a center or center conservative party. We do not advocate for, We can't even get a floor vote on Medicare for all. Not even a floor vote that gets voted down. We can't even get a vote on it. So this is not a left party. There are
Yes, this is a thing she has said, and I don't know what the issue here is. Is it that she said that she can't even get a Medicare for all vote that would be voted down? Uh, yeah. Guess what? Your force the vote campaign wouldn't have done that anyways, you stupid motherfucker. And I've already explained why. But if people ask in chat why that would be the thing, or if they start going off because I'm criticizing Jimmy Dore, whatever, you know, I don't, I can't handle the stupidity. I can't. It's a very simple thing. Like, seriously, I want you to think about this. What is the number one criticism that the left has, or that, that people like Jimmy Dore, at the very least, have about the, the Democratic Party? Like, it's what Crystal and Sagar would say on Rising. It's what Jimmy Dore says. It's a pretty common theme. And I mean, it's that the Democrats and the Republicans are the same. They're the same because they have corporate donors. And I mean, there is an element of similarity to them, but they aren't the exact same. Um, Now, the deal here is relating back to the force the vote strategy. If they're the same, why would the Democratic Party cave to for getting Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House? Why would they cave to the leftists in the party instead of going and getting concessions from Republicans if they're the fucking same because they have corporate donors? Now, this is actually the case. They would go get concessions from Republicans instead of kowtowing to the left to get Nancy Pelosi reinstated again, or whatever, however you want to put it, reelected as the Speaker of the House. This is 100% what would fucking happen. So the strategy, Jimmy even said that it was just a failed strategy. It wasn't going to do anything. It was pretty much a giant virtue signal. He's admitted this, not in those exact words, but not hard to piece it together. Um, so why would he advocate for a strategy that he knew was going to never succeed? Well, he was able to distinguish himself. Yes, truth teller, Steven Crowder. Uh, let me, let me get through this real quick. I'll get to the Steven Crowder again. I already did it at the beginning of the thing, but you know what? I'll go over it again just for you, truth teller. Oh yeah, the ending of the strategy. So yeah, he knew that it was going to fail, and he was able to. So and what did he do with it? He distinguished himself. He got to yell at AOC. He got to yell at a whole bunch of different, honestly, women of color. Um, I don't. Oh, and then he got to claim, throw out claims like, "I made you AOC. Yeah, if you won't come on my show, so you don't have any credibility. You betrayed the working class." I'm sorry. I'm not aware that that's how that worked. I need to move that. Like, seriously, I didn't know that that's how that worked. Beep. All right, moved. Sweet. But no, essentially, yeah, Jimmy. Well, he's both. Truth teller. Jimmy is stupid and a grifter. He's both of these things. It's not a one or the other, not necessarily. You can be both of those things. See, I am on one end of the spectrum. I'm not a grifter. I believe what I say. I hold to my values pretty fucking strongly. But I am a little stupid. However, I because I'm a little bit stupid, I have to, as you can see, fucking look things up. And so, because I am a little bit stupid, I feel like that actually benefited me, and now I'm smarter than I was because of my previous stupidity. Um, do we get the idea here? I think I've done a decent job at showing why Jimmy Dore is an idiot, a grifter, um, just cares about his own brand. Like, look at this. You, just go back and watch what I've put forward. Jimmy Dore is a fucking idiot and 100% grifty. He is both of these things. I cannot stand the man. I don't even need to watch this because yeah, liberals cheering censoring Trump. Here is a small piece of axiomatic values. Sometimes you have to limit certain forms of speech to be able to actually protect free speech. I know, seems paradoxical, but it's fucking not. Because you don't want people like, Nazis out and about just screaming things, because that leads to, like, violence a lot of the time. And you don't want that. So sometimes there is a thing about limiting certain forms of speech. Same thing with, like, limiting certain forms of political shit to protect democracy. If you really love democracy, your country loves democracy, you've settled on that as your foundation, and you don't want your democracy just destroyed from within because of democracy, you have to limit, like, Nazi parties. Can't have them because they will definitely try and become autocratic. Trump's unbelievable quarantine plan exposed. Why am I getting notifications for them? I unsubbed from them like before I unsubbed from Jimmy, honestly. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and go back over this. Yeah, Trump and the insurrection. Oh my god. So this was fun.
See, bro.
You and I can talk about it. It is appointed to a man. I don't think I've ever seen a more perfect encapsulation of groupthink.
The CDC is like this whole governmental body. Just tell us what to do. You don't have to think about it, dude.
Now, the overall point on that was actually way more nuanced. And of course, uh, yeah, absolutely truth teller. I need to lessen up my um moderation thing because it keeps trying to hold your messages for review. It literally held the Jimmy Dore is either stupid or grifter one for review, and I don't know what's going on there.
Obviously, my point is that if you're so fucking stupid, then yeah, you should listen to the CDC, bro.
You and I can talk about it. It is appointed to a man once to be invited on the show. And if you don't, if you decline, and everyone now knows that you will, but I will never address you again. I bet this guy's going to do anything he can to avoid actually debating.
I didn't want to make it too easy for you,
Oh, okay.
so I've prepared.
I had no idea this was going to happen. You know
Steven, you're wearing
that we
a holster.
agreed. Yeah? So?
Okay. So what that was Steven Crowder finally becoming an adult. And he's going to go on to the H3 podcast. And from my understanding, he's going to talk to Sam Seder. That's right. He's going to talk to Sam Seder. At long last, the Steven Crowder Sam Seder debate. I've been waiting 3 years for this. I've been waiting for this almost as long as I've been watching the Majority Report, which is quite a while. There's only one YouTube channel that I have consistently stayed watching as long as actually longer than the Majority Report, and that is Teching 101 because I am a One Piece nerd. Don't at me. It's great. Do I need to go over this, or are we good? I could finish this one.
Remember this?
What the Bronx and Queens needs is Medicare for all. We can do it now. It takes political courage. Start.
Yes. It does take political courage. Oh, Sam will 100% destroy his ideas and probably also call him names at the same time. Uh, Sam's pretty good at that. I've watched a lot of Sam debates. Like, there's not really, I mean, until more recently, because there's so much other shit that I've been having to deal with as far as like work and life and working on my own streaming stuff and relaxing and taking care of other things that I have to take care of in life. I haven't been able to watch like all of his videos, but up until the past like 8 months ago, when I actually started buckling down and got a computer that could handle streaming, um, yeah, I watched like everything up until then. Pretty much all of his videos. Went back and watched the entire catalog. Just that and the Michael Brooks show, because Michael rip Michael Brooks, miss that, miss that man. I really do. Anyways,
Bringing the ruckus on the Democratic Party. That is our job. It's great that everyone thinks these issues are important. We need to make them urgent. This country has only ever changed for the better by groups of people that were willing to put everything on the line for a better future. That's how we got the civil rights movement.
oh, what do you know? She says, groups of people. Oh yeah, Sam's libertarian debates are fucking great, and he is really good at setting traps. I can acknowledge this. Sam is one of the best debaters I've come across as far as like he doesn't really do the internet blood sport style of debate like Mao the Infidel or Vosh or anybody like that or Demon Mama. He does somewhat in between the blood sports and an academic debate. It's very interesting.
The women's rights movement. That's how we got the labor movement.
Oh, but yeah, the Jimmy Dore criticism here. Yes, when groups of people, like large groups, as in like the civilian population, goes out and does massive marches and demonstrations and shit happens, that is generally how you get more change in the world. Not like at the time 4 fucking people in Congress. How many people are in Congress? 537, 536, something like that.
Queer rights and marriage equality. It didn't happen by people playing it safe. We have to give it all we got. Don't people realize that the most powerful position you can be in is when you are.
And again, like you see the look on his face, and she's talking about we, as in large groups of people, activists, have to give it all we've got. When you're in Washington, you can push for shit. Bernie has been doing it forever. You need more and more and more and more people. Her push has been on the ground. She has been pushing more people left to be able to get more lefties into Congress. Her actual, like, the rhetoric she puts out, yes, on social media, in her ads, in her Twitch streams and shit. I don't know about y'all, but more people have been radicalized by that than this stupid motherfucker right here. This dumb piece of shit.
You are not materially attached to a position of power. If you're a one-term Congress member, so what? You can make 10 years worth of change in one term if you're not afraid. Democratic Party does not do more unless it is pushed. So we need to push them. And they don't like it. I think I annoy them, but but that is our job. That's our job. All of Washington is not incentivized, on the whole, not incentivized to work in actually expediting guaranteed health care in the United States. Now, does that mean it's not going to happen? Absolutely not, because mass movement organizing can force it to happen.
Yeah, and guess what really hasn't fucking happened, Jimmy? Exactly what she's saying. Mass movement organization Hasn't happened. We just haven't had it. Not really. We haven't had huge things. Like, do we have a March on Washington type thing for fucking Medicare for all? No, we don't. We don't. We haven't had it for the Green New Deal. We get small little protests here and there, and we get people doing online pushes and shit like that, but it doesn't happen there. So again, for those of you who just tuned in, my mouse is freaking out, sorry. But for those of you who just tuned in, this right here, okay? You can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this. Now this is mostly for the president, you vote lesser of two evils, but you can apply this to all the races, but for your Congress race and stuff like that, your House race, you just push the lefty in. You organize and get your leftist candidate to win the primary, and then you get the leftist candidate to sweep the fucking general, and they get put into Congress. And the more people that you have put into Congress in that regard, the more power you have, the more leverage you have, the more power you have to be able to enact something like Medicare for All and a Green New Deal, because you need more numbers. And the more numbers you get, the better you are. It's just like with fucking collective bargaining in a workplace. If your workplace, here, let's just, how many members of Congress? 535. Okay? 535 people. Now, if your workplace consists of 535 people, 100 managers, yeah, we'll say like 100 managers and 435 employees, like baseline employees. If you're in this 435 base employees, and there's 4 of you, there's 431 others, how much of your will is actually going to get enacted? Does anybody actually have an answer to this? You're 4 people. You're going up against 431 other people at your level, and another 100 people above you. How much of what you want is actually going to get done? Nothing. Literally fucking nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to get done. You aren't going to get anywhere unless you play it smart. Unless you do make some compromises that you don't necessarily feel all that comfortable with, but it's the only way for you to get what you want done. Because there's not enough of you. So again, I ask you, how the fuck are you going to get anything done? Are you going to sit out of an election? No. I mean, if you do, then, I mean, that's fine. But don't come out with some dipshit, brain dead take like, oh, we're not getting anything done because these now, like, 6, 7 people aren't doing enough. Well, I'm sorry, what did you do to make their lives easier in that particular regard? What did you do to actually get what you want done enacted? What steps did you take? Did you actually go out and organize? Maybe you did. Good for you. That's one process. That's one step. Did you call your current legislator? No? Oh, that's bougie electoralism. So you didn't vote in that election either to try and get somebody further left in? Oh, well, why not? Oh, because you didn't like the candidates. Because why? Even if you do like the candidates, you don't vote? Oh, because it's bougie electoralism and Lenin wouldn't have supported it? Jimmy Dore told me not to fucking vote in my local election or for Congress.
Force it to happen. Do not trust any political party to automatically work in your interest.
I call on everybody in independent media to join this mission.
Force it to happen.
Yeah, guess what? That wasn't going to fucking happen. Everybody knew this.
Force the Congress to show which side are they really on. No vote for Nancy Pelosi unless Medicare for All is put on the House floor for a vote.
Oh, look at that. There's a fucking Anthony's playing because he decided that his strategy was good. I've already explained why his strategy is stupid as fuck, right? Like, I've done that enough.
Start bringing the ruckus on the Democratic Party.
Now, I would like to make one minor observation. The squad has done more to move the Democratic Party left. Not that they are a left party, but they've moved more towards the left. Overall, I mean, they're kind of like doing the splits over here, but they've done more to move people, the Democratic Party, more towards the left, at least on some of the social issues, than any other figures. They came in, they supported Bernie and Bernie's agenda, and that brings Bernie up to a whole new height. That brings the entire party shifting the Overton window, brings them trying to be the center. They're doing further and further splits as the parties are drifting further and further towards the other ends of the spectrum, as the base is going towards further ends of the other spectrum. Eventually, the Democratic Party will rip itself in half, and half of it will go to the Republicans, and half of it will go to the leftists. I refuse to resubscribe to Jimmy Dore, and I don't think anybody should. I think you should actively go and unsubscribe if you are subscribed, because he's a fucking idiot. I don't know. I don't. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. Oh, good for him. Carl Nassib comes out as gay. Na 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 na. That sounds conspiratorial. FBI agent acknowledges Trump backers discussed revolution before January 6th. Backers is in like financial backers or people who supported him, because that's obvious. Like, yeah, people definitely said that. Wait. Ben Shapiro tweet. I have to know. Wait, if I just go to the Steven Crowder one, he was like right there. There he is. Yes. Thomas Sowell quotes. Who the fuck is John Voight? Oh, no thank you. Where is an original Ben Shapiro tweet? The president supports the right to choose to kill a human being. They're not people. Na 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 na. All this dumb shit. Ben Shapiro is also really dumb. Oh, okay, this is just straight transphobia. God damn it, Crowder. Wait, Ben Shapiro, hold on. I might actually agree with Ben Shapiro retweeting this, and this is Zaid Jillian person. June 18th, 2021. What is white racial identity and why is it important? When George Floyd died, people across the United States started to look more critically at how white supremacy affects us all. In this episode, we'll talk to mental health experts and scholars about why understanding your whiteness and the ways that white supremacy benefits you. Oh, wait, no. I don't. Not, I mean, I don't know about the video, but the video is not linked. Just the thing of the article. Whatever. Ben Shapiro's dumb. Jimmy Dore's dumb. Steven Crowder, also dumb. The squad, not bad, but not doing their job fully the way that they should. I am so fucking done with these idiots. 3 weeks ago. Oh god, it's a bunch of fucking racists. Meltdown a week ago. Experiencing blackmail with critics of her journalism. No, no. She sent you a private DM to say that she's no longer going to hold back criticizing you and letting loose all the shit. It's not in a way to get you to stop criticizing them. So it's not blackmail. She's just informing you that she's going to continue, that she's actually going to start calling you a loser piece of shit. So uh, I do like how he phrases these things and frames them. You got to remember that all the people who like Jimmy Dore that may have tuned in or whatever, all of you might need to you need to think. Um, Jimmy Dore doesn't give a singular flying fuck about telling a truthful story. He wants to make himself look good, and so he will tell it in a favorable light to him. Everybody does this to an extent, but Jimmy does it particularly horrendously. Am I right? Do we want to go over a debate? Is that what we want to do, chat? Do we want to listen to Sam Cedar debate MRA cap person? Do we want to go over this? Wait, what? What the fuck? Okay, never
A
mind.
group
Found
of
something.
white cops were caught beating a black undercover cop, leaving him with permanent neck injuries. This happened in 2017, but just recently made news as the cops have been found guilty. So I'm going to get to a video on this, but first a little more on what happened.
Oh my fucking god. Detective Hall was working undercover during a protest for Anthony Lamar Smith, a black man who was shot 5 times by cops in 2011. Hall, who was dressed in plain clothes, was mistaken for a protester by his fellow
On
policemen.
September 17th, 2017, Detective Hall was working undercover during a protest for Anthony Lamar Smith, a black man who was shot 5 times by cops in 2011. Hall, who was dressed in plain clothes, was mistaken for a protester by his fellow policemen. The cop was documenting the protest with a camera, and that's when he was detained and beaten, had his cell phone destroyed, and was finally arrested by fellow members of the St. Louis Police Department. Hall immediately underwent multiple surgeries following the attack by his coworkers and still suffers from permanent neck damage. So I'm going to get to a
Could see this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he 100% agrees with the idea that police need to be reformed at that point. I would.
This is the live stream recording moments before this undercover detective is beaten by St. Louis police officers. It happens quick, starting here when you hear "get on the ground." Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Hands down! Hands down! Detective Luther Hall said this seemed like forever, but was probably about a minute. When he got back to police headquarters, he says another officer was able to insert his pinky through a hole in his lip. This is Hall's phone, with what the detective describes as a baton-shaped blow to it. He said he couldn't access the video from his phone, but it came up on his cloud storage. It asked him to choose delete or save. Detective Hall saved it. The FBI says it pulled this face of an officer as the last image before the stream cut off. That's one of the three defendants, Officer Chris Myers. Myers'
Yep.
attorney Scott...
Seems right. Jesus fuck. Okay, and I actually got has a history of violence against protesters and racism. He allegedly slapped a K suspect in the face and sent officers to text joking about it, saying the suspect got his eyes widened with a little slap from a white boy. Okay, yep. So racist cop. Finally, more convictions. All right. So while the immediate aftermath of the Derek Chauvin trial didn't turn up much anything other than Chauvin going to, prison for like ever. It's starting to lead to a breakthrough in like cops getting prosecuted for doing stupid fuck shit. Even though the guy that they assaulted in 2017 was a fellow cop, I'm pretty sure that's the reason that it got sent to courts. But I think the conviction happened partly because like it happened once now, so people are like, oh, we can convict cops for stuff. Kind of a thing. Maybe the case just took that long, but who knows? Not me. I wasn't there. We got an hour and 32 minutes. Hell, oh wait, that's Destiny highlights? I don't care. Wait, that is not what I wanted to do. Let's... Yeah, but Nomiki's awesome. Alright, do we want to go and play some Destiny 2? Or do we want to play some Cyberpunk? I put this vote to you, chat. I don't know how to do vote things on here, you know? Add a new source. Can I do that? Can I? No? No, they don't have a vote thing on here. I wish they did. Oh yeah, and Truth Teller, thank you for the sub. I really do appreciate that. I'm sorry I didn't say anything earlier. I was kind of losing my own train of thought. You know? Let's see. What's going on, chat? We doing alright? Are we calm? Are we cool? Are we collected? Do we want to see me tilt on Destiny, or do you want to see me tilt on Cyberpunk? We can go over some stuff while we do it. Like I'm not opposed to it. We can look at some stuff. It's absolutely a thing that's possible. I mean, hell, I played some. I think it was Destiny 2 while going over a Jeanette McCurdy podcast episode on mental health. That was actually kind of nice. I don't know how the fuck people like Hassan have. I guess they have editors who can do cool video shit. Yeah, Trump was definitely dangerous. If there's one decent
I want to put up the main
Fox News journalist, somebody that like if I'm going for a right wing perspective on a thing, like a regular not Nazi conservative perspective, Chris Wallace. He's the most honest journalist.
elements of the Manchin proposal. Make Election Day a holiday. Mandate at least 15 days of early voting. Ban partisan gerrymandering and use computer models and require a voter ID.
I have an issue with the require a voter ID unless we hand out IDs to literally everybody. If you just gave them out, but you have to pay for your ID and this and that, and I don't know. Outside of that, make Election Day a holiday. Fuck yes. 15 days of early voting. I don't know how much it is right now. I'm sorry. I really don't. But that seems like kind of a tight window, but not too bad. If this minus the require voter ID, if these 3 points are what the thing is, I would probably accept that. I wouldn't be too happy about the 15 days of early voting because that's not enough to me. But
Now, Senator Manchin took out a lot of the basic Senate plans, S1, the For the People Act, like public financing of congressional elections. Can you go along with the Manchin stripped-down version? And if not, why not?
Well, one, I like Joe Manchin a lot, but we had the largest turnout in the history of the United States, and states are in charge of voting in America. So I don't like the idea of taking the power to redistrict away from state legislators. You're having people move from blue states to red states. Under this proposal, you'd have...
No. See, here's, I think Wallace is probably going to call him out on this, but it's not taking any of the voting like setup and shit away from the states. It's saying here's some additional guidelines that you need to follow. That's it. Oh, and making voting day a federal holiday so that everybody can go vote.
Some kind of commission redraw the new districts, and I don't like that. I want states where people are moving to have control over how to allocate new congressional seats. So as much as I like Joe Manchin, the answer would be no. In my view, SR1 is the biggest power grab in the history of the country. It mandates ballot harvesting, no voter ID. It does away with the states being able to redistrict when you have population shifts. It's just...
No, it literally lets them do that. It just bans partisan gerrymandering, so you can't do it based on party, so that you can't have a state where there are literally more registered Democrats who actually go out and vote, but because they're in certain districts, the way that they're drawn, there's not a Democrat in power in that state. That's literally a thing that happens. So, no, partisan gerrymandering should be illegal, and fuck you, Lindsey Graham, you're a piece of shit.
It's a bad idea, and it's a problem that most Republicans are not going to sign. They're trying to fix a problem most Republicans have a different view of.
Now, Joe Manchin would say, look, a lot of the stuff that you just objected to is not in my bill. His is a stripped-down version, and he doesn't talk about an independent commission. He just says ban partisan gerrymandering, and as you know, the Constitution does provide for federal oversight of state elections. Here's the practical question here. If you if Republicans vote, as it appears you're going to kill the Manchin version of voting rights, you've already, Republicans voted to kill the bipartisan January 6th commission looking into the insurrection at the Capitol. Do you run the risk that Manchin and a couple of other moderate senators will eventually say, look, bipartisanship isn't working, and you know what? We're not going to kill the filibuster, but we're going to reduce the number of votes you need to stop a debate from 60 to 55. Do you run that risk?
I hope not, because I was in Joe Manchin's shoes. I like Joe Manchin. I'm willing to work with him on infrastructure. We're very close on police reform. You haven't talked about police reform, but I think we can get there. I think Tim Scott and Cory Booker and the rest of us are very close to a police reform package that would be bipartisan. But when we had the House and the Senate and the White House under President Trump, I had a bunch of Democrats wanting to sign a letter with me protecting the filibuster. Every one of those Democrats have fled for the hills. So I was beat on every day. Why don't you give in and agree with President Trump to change the rules so we can get the Trump agenda through? I said, no, I don't think it'd be good for the country. Never once did I go to Joe Manchin or any other Democrat and say, if you don't do some of the things I want, I'm going to agree with Trump to change the rules. I'm not going to be extorted here. I'm asking no more of my Democratic colleagues than I ask of myself. It was very unpleasant to be beat on every day by the President of the United States, President Trump, and his allies to try to change the rules in the Senate to have their way. I said no because it's bad for the Senate. I hope these Democrats understand it's bad for the Senate to change the rules, and I don't want to be extorted.
No.
I've got to give
No,
two
no,
or
no,
three
no, no,
things
no.
before they will
No.
not
Fuck you. Get rid of the filibuster.
change the rules. I don't like that at all. I didn't do that to them, and I wish they would not do this to me.
It seems that when Lindsey Graham decided to come on Fox News.
Yep, okay, that's about what I thought. We're not doing that. What, like Hassan dunking on him over Palestine? It's not like Jimmy actually cares, though. Oh, yeah, you kind of can't move to Japan. I'd love to go visit. Yeah, okay. Here, you know what? This is fucking wonderful example right here. This shit, okay?
Should have seen that away that I questioned him, man. I weren't shocked that all of his bread.
Where's my closed captioner?
Left him that. Should have seen that away that I questioned him, man. I weren't shocked that all of his brethren left him that.
Yep. Yep, this makes this is a thing that actually does happen a lot. So here's the okay, and
Away that I questioned him, man. I weren't shocked that all of his brethren left him that.
yeah. So what lesson do you take away from this, everybody?
quit there, man, I want shot that all of his brethren left him die.
Oh, yeah, it's
Historically,
British
there's been tension between these two estates. We spoke to members of the community, utilising local officers to engage with them and understand those tensions. That enabled us to have a richer picture in relation to the lead-up. It enabled us to identify these people very quickly. From the community, we was aware that this group hung around a certain shop centre, dispose of a knife down.
All right, yeah. So, what did you learn? What's the main takeaway from that? Is it don't commit crimes on camera? Don't record yourself immediately after committing a crime? Even like trying to like subtly hint that you may have done something, giving out any sort of clues that you may have done something. Don't do it. Also, don't go film people at protests. That's another thing. Yo. Hmm. Malden Stanian. Oh yeah, the corrupt politician trying to silence friendly Geordies with lawsuit, arrested this friend. Yeah, there's some shit going on across the entire world right now. Yeah, so okay. This is another issue. A little while ago, ICE, completely disregarding Biden's order to not deport people, deported a bunch of people to Haiti. That was around this time. In Haiti, gangs are killing with impunity. It was around this time. The Young Turks exposed. No, they're not. No. We are scrolling. I started about Palestinians. That's the thing that he does. Sure, let's see what's
Cover
going on.
JCS's Jennifer Solutions. Hassan had some cringy takes on abuse. Did Hassan say that like the chick was justified in putting out a hit on her parents because her parents were abusive? Hassan was mauling at his chat because they had that exact take. Because that is exactly the take that 14-year-old Twitch chat viewers would have. Imagine you're a 14-year-old Twitch chat viewer. You just finished up homework. Your parents made you eat green beans. You sit down. You have your little plate of the dinosaur-shaped tendies and Kraft mac and cheese that your mom let you take up because you wanted to watch Hassan. And you watch Hassan react to a video where some parents are super controlling of a chick, so the chick has her parents murdered. And you think, parents are such bullshit. No, I don't know what I'd do. And then because this kid's also a lefty, parents are an unjustified hierarchy. Nothing wrong with revolutionary force to undo injustice. I support Hassan and whatever dumbass takes he was dealing with in his chat.
You know, luckily my chat so far, almost every time that I have somebody actually type something in here, you all are wonderful. So I truly do appreciate you. Honestly, I do appreciate you for tuning into here. It's great. Uh, Caitlyn Bennett exposed by sister. What? 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 The murder of an American Nazi. Yeah, well, whatever. Y- yeah, I watch her podcast. She went through some fucked shit, y'all. Wait, what? Parents and coaches brawl over T-ball? What? Hmm. What? Oh, Mia Khalifa. Yeah, I think she's a grifter for the pro-Trump crowd because they have so much fucking money and they will pay all of it to a hot woman who agrees with their agenda. I'm I'm confused.
No one will ever fucking understand my struggle. You don't fucking get it.
What struggle do you have? You don't.
All I want to be is pure evil. I want to be the bad guy so bad. I try everything I can possibly do to be the fucking bad guy. But I'm always in a fucking fight or a feud with pure evil, which turns me into the fucking good guy in my
No, you are never in a fight with pure evil. You've backed fucking pedophiles, dude. Like legitimate pedos. You've backed them. You've defended them.
reputation over the last couple years has been ruined. How many times have you motherfuckers been like, you know what, I kind of fucking like Keem. You know what, I agree with Keem here. Or yeah, Keem's the good guy. Or you fucking find yourself fucking agreeing with me, right? I don't want it. I want to be the fucking bad guy, but I keep
That explains all the dog shit takes.
going up against pure fucking evil.
Hey, you can say something nice about me. Go ahead. Be the good guy.
You want me to say something nice about you? I don't think so. In fact,
Well, it's not. I'm sure that that's going to be some horrible fucking thing. Yeah. See, I don't need to do this because I haven't experienced it, but I did have to help take care of somebody who was experiencing it, and it's heartbreaking. And I don't like to think about that one. Airline blames workers for canceled flights, of course, because what?
Vash, I got a super chat. Hold on, read this. What Vash is saying doesn't matter. If the Electoral College didn't exist, you would never have a Republican president to represent the Republican people of the country, farmers, factory workers, and so on.
Oh
That's
yeah,
not
dude.
how that works. The president represents the people. The president doesn't represent the what?
Cry
That's not
fucking
how that
hard.
works.
Cry harder, bro. They'll never represent. Yeah, it's tough shit. Better win the popular vote, dumb fuck.
This is yeah. yeah.
Sorry.
We were talking about this earlier.
Thank you for the $20. Thank you.
Oh God. Okay, as much as people want to shit on Head, I think she's delightful. She's not a full-on leftist, but you know what? She's funny. Okay. Wait, what? Pranking a QAnon radio? What? Oh yeah, she got. Wait, she got banned? Oh, probably for the Booba streamer thing. Ben Dominic? I don't body shame him. Saying he's got no neck. What? Oh my god, I have to now. You understand this, right?
If you believe.
You understand this, right? This is going to be a stream segment. However, I ask that you all bear with me for about 5 minutes. So I'm actually going to go ahead and on this monitor, I'm going to pull up some, wonderful copyright free. Actually, can I do Beetle? Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. We're going to end out with this. We're not going to end, but we're going to end out the song that was playing before so it can lead in. And I want you, by the time it's done, I want you to have identified what song it actually is. And I will be back very shortly. So let me go ahead and. There should be a break.
If you believe that the radical left isn't after your children, you're ignoring the fact that they very, very clearly are after your children. So Nickelodeon actually broadcast, I'm not kidding you, a video from a drag queen named Nina West. And forgive
God damn it, I forgot to unmute my microphone. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Gotta restart. I fucked that one up. Yep, that was me. Reading some of these comments, they're fucking hilarious to say the least. And Ben Shapiro, yeah. Oh Lord, Ben Shapiro, conservative commentator. Let's see, what do we got going on here? Nickelodeon pushes trans propaganda on children. I already fucked up trying to record this once because I have my microphone muted, but it's shit happens. This is going to be a hilarious video. Let's start it. Let's go.
If you believe that the radical left isn't after your children, you're ignoring the fact that they very, very clearly are after your children. So Nickelodeon actually broadcast, I'm not kidding you, a video from a drag queen named Nina West. And forgive my unfamiliarity, this is not a world in which I generally traffic. The drag queen Nina West performed an original song about the meaning of the rainbow pride flag for small children. Because again, Nickelodeon is directed at small children. It is not directed at teens. It is not directed at adults.
That's not true. Nickelodeon has shows for a lot of age ranges on it. Because I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like back in the day, Zoe 101 was not a kids show. Let's face it, iCarly was not for like little kids. It was for teens. Not like, I mean, up to 16 or so, shit like that. I have little sisters. They watched it. Come on.
Adults. It is directed at small children. And so we are going to now indoctrinate children into the wonders of various sexual orientations and the complete moral relativity of human sexuality. And we're going to do this to like 4 and 5-year-olds. Because confusing children is what people are in the business of doing. Because if you can confuse children, and if you can tell them that true glory lies in how you identify on the inside, as opposed to, complying with basic societal norms, not with regard to even sexuality, but with regard to just decent human behavior.
Oh, fuck
right?
me.
As in not sexualizing children. Well, then that apparently is bad. You're not supposed to do that, right? There is no way.
I just want to point out he's already making a huge mistake. He's trying to equate teaching children about sexual orientations, which is like attraction and who you like love and shit. I mean, there can be a like actual sexual connotation, but like sexual orientation isn't just about sex. It's about like attraction. That's why a lot of people call it same-sex attraction. As like it's usually used as a euphemism, but it means it's literally just like a sexual orientation and a form of attraction, who you're attracted to. It doesn't have anything to do with like teaching kids about sex. Although teaching kids like in a classroom setting earlier sexual education so that they know if they're being like sexually assaulted as kids, it's probably a good thing, as most data fucking turns out to show. Like, hey, when kids are actually educated on, things, they can more accurately describe and prevent things like sexual assault.
To discuss gay pride without coming into conflict when you're coming to discuss this with children, without coming into conflict with the reality, which is that it is a sexual orientation, which implies sex, which implies you now have to discuss sex with small children. And I have TV people discussing sex with small children and gender orientation with small children. Does this sound like...
Yeah, like sexual orientation and gender identities. Yeah, those are fine. Like, kids can understand those. Those are fine, Ben. You are making a lot of conflations and assumptions. You outright are stating that like you can't teach them without teaching sex. I'm sorry. How do you teach that you love your wife, that you're in a heterosexual couple, like that you are you're in a heterosexual relationship? How do you explain that to your kid? Do you tell them that you and that you and mommy are raw dogging, and that's how you know that you're heterosexual, and then you explain the concept of sex to them? Or do you just say that you and mommy love each other very much and you find her very pretty? Which one is it, Ben? Is that how you would explain something to a child? To sit him down and say, oh, what? You and mommy, why do you love each other? Well, you see, mommy was, I'm a straight man. One of my classmates said they were gay. Well, I'm straight, and the difference here is that because I'm straight, I only put my penis into a woman's orifices, and because it's Ben Shapiro, he would be like, yeah, well, see, I as a hetero male, I only have sex and bust open the pussy of the biological female. I'm Ben Shapiro. I'm very fucking smart. Let me smell my own farts.
Great idea to you? If you're a parent, you need to turn off the damn.
Pretty sure he doesn't do
right
that one, by the way.
now. You don't let your kids watch stuff that you haven't pre-screened, because otherwise you end up with this. Here is a drag queen lecturing your child on a bunch of stuff.
Well, there's a drag queen telling your kids about how they could be gay so they don't end up growing up depressed and suicidal.
Including, by the way, BLM. There's like a BLM fist that appears halfway through this particular video. So you get a lecture
He's so mad!
By a man dressed as a woman. And this is going out to 4 and 5-year-olds. This is woke indoctrination of small children on sexual matters. Don't tell me that isn't abuse of children. It is. It is mass abuse.
No, it's not, you fucking idiot. You see how much he... Okay. I want to point out something. What Ben Shapiro is doing here is he's priming his audience. We are 2 minutes into this video, and he has yet to show any of the ad that he is complaining about. He's putting a very, very strict idea of what is about to be shown into his viewer's head, and that's how they were going to perceive it. Now, however, us big brain savants over here in the Sandwhichpants YouTube chat and viewership, we are annulled. We are immune to the idiocy that is Ben Shapiro priming the audience. See, you always have to be aware of things like this, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Use of children. If somebody came into your house and started doing this to your child without your consent, you would immediately call the cops.
Well, that's because they entered your house without permission. They just walked into your house. So.
Hey, I'm not talking about like physically abusing the child. I'm talking about if an adult came into your house, a man dressed as a woman came into your house and started singing to your child about the wonders of various sexual orientations, and your kid's 5, you would call the cops. Okay, well, you turned on the TV, so the idea is that the consent is yours?
Yeah.
That you have now consented?
Yeah.
But how many parents have that?
Yeah, that's the thing. You put on the channel. Guess what? You consented. You didn't pre-screen it? Oh well. Guess what? Doesn't fucking matter. You put it on and you said, here you go, kids. You watch this Nickelodeon. I grew up with it. I know that it's fine. And most people who grew up with Nickelodeon are, closer to my age. And as the Chad leftists we are, we completely accept. Oh God, that there are women with penises and there are dudes with vaginas. It's a thing, People can identify however the fuck they feel like gender wise. Doesn't matter. You can be NB. You can totally be a non-binary person. You can do whatever you want in that regard. Doesn't matter. Because gender is bullshit and sexual orientation is very much a fuzzy thing that even shit. You just go watch the Vosh video where he does the thing. He talks about you can make anything gay. It's like and somebody was like, no, you can't, and he was like, oh, so would you shake my hand? And the guy's like, well, yeah, I would. And he's like, oh, so you would shake another man's hand? That's gay. And I thought that was funny as hell because it just shows that shit is arbitrary. That's the point he was making. He's like, yeah. You could define anything you wanted as gay if it's any contact with another man, but it's a spectrum. Like you could be way less gay than another person, but everybody's bisexual to some extent. Is the basic point that Vosh was making. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. You know, it's just a thing. Anyways, yeah, back to Ben Shapiro being a dumb fuck, talking about consent because he turned on the TV and saw this thing, and instead of turning it off, he just watched it, and now he feels like his kids are getting indoctrinated or something. I don't know.
Actually consented seeing that. How many parents knew this was going to appear on Nick? Really, how many parents were sitting around going, I'll bet that what they're going to broadcast today is a radical gay propaganda video directed at children. By the way, you can be an advocate of gay rights and still believe this is not appropriate for children. Because it's not appropriate for children. And here's some rather inappropriate material for children appearing on Nickelodeon.
Why are you fucking timing?
Showing who you are on the inside. Wave that pride flag up high. Be true to you. Happy Pride, everyone! Yeah!
It fills you with pride, showing who you are on the inside. So notice also that there has been a different sort of approach to why kids are supposed to be told about this stuff. So it used to be the kids need to be told about this stuff because if you are 5 or 6 years old, there may be a kid in your class who has 2 mommies or 2 daddies. Right? That was the original thing, right? This was the...
Oh my God, is he really going to do it? He's really going to be like, oh, now they're just directly telling your children that they're gay, and that's going to turn them gay. He's going to do it. Oh my God, he's actually going to do it. Instead of just understanding that the commercial is literally directed to anyone who watches it that it may apply to, and not literally saying that every child who watches it should be gay. He's really going to do it, isn't he? He's going to do the dumbest thing he could possibly do. How did anyone ever accept this moron as an intellectual titan?
What was it?
I'm gonna Roblox myself.
Has 2 mommies. Heather Has 2 Mommies, right? The Heather Has 2 Mommies book was a controversy maybe 15 years ago. The idea was you need to teach kids because there might be a kid in the class who doesn't have a mom and a dad, but actually has 2 dads or 2 moms. And now, that was foolish because why would you have to teach every kid in America about this as opposed to just dealing with it when your kid comes home and asks about it?
For acceptance.
A job for parents. But
for acceptance. Because guess what? If you don't teach, oh my God. Okay. Well, I don't understand why they didn't just let the parents teach it. Even though if my child came home and asked about why they have 2 mommies or daddies, whether classmate has 2 mommies or daddies, I would say that it's because they're sinning abominations and they are going to hell in the eyes of the Lord. But I don't know why they can't just let all parents just teach it to their kids. I mean, why do they have to teach, acceptance and actual virtue of kindness that my religion supposedly teaches? But I'm just going to choose the most heinous bits that I could possibly put forth without seeming like a total satanic being.
put that aside. This is no longer directed at the kids' parents. Now, this is directed at children themselves.
Yeah.
You, a 5 or 6-year-old, you might identify as a trans kid. You might identify as a drag queen.
Well, maybe not a drag queen. It's just that a drag queen was there doing the bit. But yes, a 5 or 6-year-old. Although that's not all the people who watch Nickelodeon. That's the point in time where people would really start actually noticing things like that, and they could start talking to people about resources, getting resources on how to, approach the gender dysphoria that may appear or whatever, however, how they can, what, God damn it, I had a word, I knew the word, there's the word, how they can better facilitate their child's comfort growing up. That's it. The word facilitate. It slipped my mind for a moment. But that apparently, nope, can't have that. Ben Shapiro got to criticize every social progressive thing on the fucking planet, and then claim that he just wants to see sense between the parties. And then the Democrats are demons, and they're going to indoctrinate your children into the gay agenda or whatever.
Okay, it's an attempt to indoctrinate confusion into children. That's all it is.
No.
We'll get to more on this in just 1 second. First, let's talk about the fact that you're about to have an amazing summer because things are opening back up, disrupting, and so large, small kids. They also did a song for blues drag queen who identifies as a man. They're both. Okay, so Nina West didn't just do a song for Nickelodeon writ large. Nina West also did a song for Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues is directed at 3-year-olds. I have small children. Blue's Clues is directed at 3, 4,
That's
5-year-old
true.
children. These are
It is.
small kids. There are no 11-year-olds watching Blue's Clues. And now you have Blue's Clues having its own pride parade featuring a drag queen for small children. Don't tell me
Wah.
this isn't about indoctrination of kids. It's 100% about indoctrination of kids. And by the way, if you think the people who are doing this,
Okay. Here's a real question. Is it not indoctrination when you try and teach your kids conservative values from a young age? Is it not indoctrination when you force your children to go to a church or whatever religious gathering you happen to attend? Is it not indoctrinating your children when you tell them that they are a boy or a girl, depending on the jiggly little bit of flesh that they have in between their legs upon birth? Is that not you doing a lot of indoctrination since the day that your child is fucking born? I'd say so. Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. And teaching them more acceptance and caring and compassion is fine. I don't have an issue with this. Teaching kids how to be more accepting of other people. I'm pretty sure it was people your age, Ben Shapiro, that were the ones who started really honing in on the anti-bullying campaigns and stuff like that. It's your generation who actually really started this trend, and people slightly older than you, really. Actually, Ben Shapiro's not that much older than me. I mean, he's like 40, and I'm almost 30. So yeah, no, I don't. Keep going, you dumb fuck.
don't know what they're doing, you're an idiot. Of course they know what they're doing. Their idea is that they have to counter you, the parent. You, the evil parent, the evil traditionalist parent who teaches your kids that there's a difference between men and women, and that men and women get married and then have babies. You have to be countered right now because you might be indoctrinating a little fascist like yourself. And so
Yeah.
we have to get a hold of your kid and remold your kid.
Uh huh.
There's no other explanation for why this stuff is being broadcast on children's television. And you know
Oh,
what this
really?
really comes down to? You, the parent. Turn off the damn TV. Here's what appeared on Blue's Clues.
It's time for a pride parade. Families marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. This family has 2 mommies. They love each other so proudly. And they all go marching in the big parade. This family has 2 daddies. They love each other so proudly. These babas are non-binary. They love each other so proudly. Trans members of this family all love each other so proudly. And they all go marching
I'm sorry.
in the big parade. Come join the fun.
You see,
Does anyone in my chat at this exact moment see any actual problem with what Ben just showed? I'm at a loss. What seems to be your issue here, Benjamin? This seems fine. They're teaching kids about different identities. Honestly, kids in like kindergarten and shit don't learn much. You really don't. This is a good point to start. And I mean, yeah, I think it's perfectly fine for a television program to try and counter fascist indoctrination. Yeah, that's perfectly fine by me.
see how it morphed? Right, so it started off, even this video started off with, there are some kids who have 2 mommies or 2 daddies. And then it moved into, some are non-binary. Okay, now you have to explain to children that they could have a malleable gender, which is, number 1, a lie, and number 2, is super confusing.
Number 1, it's a lie. Actually, no, it's not. The fact that you don't even think that trans people are real proves that you are very far behind the times, and also you are a dumb poopy brain, and nobody should ever take you seriously. Fuck you, Ben Shapiro.
To tiny kids, to small. Also, you have to say to a small child who thinks he's a robot today that he might actually be a girl. Okay, the only reason Nickelodeon is doing this is to please its most fervent radical supporters. And again, these people think they are doing good. Understand that this is not people who are just making a market decision, because the market for this stuff is rather small. It is people who believe they are doing a social good by indoctrinating your kids in a particular style of thinking.
Well, but they actually are doing a social good because when trans people and non-binary people and like all different types of people are accepted and like not discriminated against, the rate of suicidality in those groups plummets, and so you actually are saving lives by not teaching people to think like you, Ben. Yeah, that's just what it is. Nickelodeon is doing things to save lives, and you are doing things to ruin them. That is your whole shtick, ruining lives. Ben Shapiro ruins lives.
They're taking our kids away from you. And if given power, these folks will do the exact same thing physically. They will take your kids away from you. Okay,
No, I mean, not unless you're physically abusing them. And I honestly think that the fire and brimstone shit in religion is, it's psychologically abusive to children. It really is.
this sounds like Chicken Little Sky is falling stuff.
It's because it is!
But it is already happening.
No?
So long as your kid is quote unquote diagnosed with something.
No?
If you
I'm sorry, can you connect those 2 points? That was pretty much a non sequitur. If they're diagnosed with something, what, like diabetes? Or, if they actually are trans, and there's like if they're trans and there's a psychiatrist who or whatever who diagnoses this and goes like, hey, your kid is probably gonna have some problems growing up in the future if you don't like put them on hormone blockers. They're probably gonna become depressed and try and commit suicide. You might want to like start taking this into account. But Ben Shapiro would just go, oh well, then they're no child of mine, and would either disown them or they would I don't know. I feel like Ben Shapiro might pull a Casey Anthony. It's the look in the eyes. Allegedly, he might. I don't. It's my opinion. It's not a factual statement. Don't sue me, Ben.
eventuality here is pretty obvious. You're going to send your 4 or 5-year-old kid to school. Your 4 or 5-year-old kid is going to say a dumb, confused things because kids who are 4 or 5 are dumb and confused. I know.
Yes, that's why nobody transitions kids at 4 or 5. Duh.
No, I have small kids. The 4 or 5-year-old will go to school. And they'll say something like, I want to wear a dress today. A little boy. And instead of being at home where you would say, nah, that's silly. Let's put on some pants. Instead of doing that, the teacher's going to be like, you should see how you feel in a dress.
Yeah. What the fuck does it hurt? Seriously, what the fuck does it hurt? Nothing. It 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 it, it hurts nothing. It literally does nothing. No harm. Zero. Harm potential? None. Flatlined. Letting a child that is born as a boy wear a dress when they're 5 or 6 literally doesn't hurt anything. Hell, personal little story here. I have 2 trans siblings. Both of my older siblings are trans. One was AMAB, one was AFAB, and they changed. Both of them. So I still have an older brother and an older sister. It's just the order that they were in when I would name them is different. So instead of having my eldest sibling be AMAB, my brother, my oldest sibling is my sister. That's it took a little bit for it to click in my head that that is a thing and to get the names down because 20 plus years of calling somebody by one name, it does get a little bit difficult to change calling them names initially. But my mother refuses. My mother absolutely refuses dead names and misgenders both of my trans siblings. It's caused a huge amount of contention within the family because everybody except for my parents accepts this. However, to bring this into line, my mother still understood when babysitting a child that when this young boy wanted to put on fairy wings, a tutu, and run around with a wand, you let him do that because it doesn't fucking hurt anything. There is no issues caused. So even my transphobic mother has no issue with this. But Ben, no. Ben Shapiro is even more extreme on this.
It will be encouraged. And then, if you object as a parent, they will say that you are stifling your child's growth.
True.
Because what we have here is two conflicting visions of how kids are civilized. One suggests that kids must be civilized to a quote-unquote non-judgmental society in which all behavior is treated equivalently.
No. Okay, that's a hit. Ben Shapiro with his little rhetorical tricks. Not that all behavior is treated equivocally. No, it's that, dressing how you want and doing things that don't harm other people are generally fine. Meanwhile, the way that you phrased that is that all behavior, which would include things like, sexual assault. And I don't know anybody personally who condones these kinds of things. Ben, is that what you think? Is that a bit of projection on your end?
Except for religious and traditionalist behavior, which is treated with scorn. And that kids should be encouraged to experiment with gender and experiment with sexual orientation and experiment with everything. And another view that says that things like biological sex exist, that male and female exist, that there are, in fact, moral preferences with...
Oh, so just wrong positions. Okay, yeah, I mean, wrong positions do exist, but education usually does a good job of blasting that idiocy away. And the further on in time we go, the more people aren't as stupid as you are being right now. Poo-poo brain Ben Shapiro.
With regard to sexual behavior. And those of us who are libertarian on the right, when it comes to government,
Oh, yes, super libertarian, let the free market do whatever it wants, but let's criticize Nickelodeon for this ad. Let's criticize literally every fucking free market corporate enterprise that I disagree with and essentially suggest that the government needs to do something about them. I'm Ben Shapiro, by the way. Oh, let me criticize the 1619 project that was done by a fucking private corporation, and let me support the fascistic government program for education that was put out by Donald Trump. Yeah, let me. Libertarian, by the way. I'm Ben Shapiro. Yeah. Fucking gremlin, dude.
we say, listen, you're an adult, you get to do what you want. But what you don't get to do is indoctrinate kids. And those on the left, they say, you on the right don't get to do what you want, and we're going to indoctrinate your kids.
Yeah, fuck it. I agree with that statement. People on the right, you don't get to do what you want, and we're going to indoctrinate your kids. Fuck you. What you got? Come at it. That's what we got. Fuck Ben. Seriously, though. Seriously.
That's what this
This
conflict
is
going to come down to.
Yep,
The
that's
battle
all
for
we
the
got.
culture
Okay. Literally, the last fucking sentence was it. Who cares? Who cares who has more average views? Probably, Majority Report has more, wait, live watch party? Is this happening?
This one in particular, she immediately responded to me. She said, "Yes, I did booking for him years ago for a few months. I'm not quite sure who's."
Agreed. Yeah? So?
Crowder challenged me to a debate. He called me a layup. He said I was stupid. Well, Stephen, I think the debate speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't, but Darren's his dad.
I just want to also put forward that my dad, he doesn't work for my show or
Pulitzer winners, and every now and then a layup crosses our path. Who we just kind of like the shtick that you're only capable of.
Now, in our original video about Crowder, we had noticed that he had reached out to me to book me on his show, and he was kind of butthurt that I ghosted him all this time. And in this video, he claims here that he never reached out to a booker and that I'm lying about it. So here's what he says about that.
I just want to point out, and again, Ethan will make this point.
Okay, but where's the...
Be honest with your
Where's
viewers.
it actually going to be?
And Steven says he doesn't want to bully me.
He's actually on right now, so...
And I am feeling...
I mean, H3 is on right now, and I'm doing the Matt Binder thing, because I don't know his deal. Fucking hell.
Very insecure now that Steven has taken a shot at me.
Wait, the Kleenex.
Let me just say, first of all, you have.
Hold on a second.
We were making fun of the fact that Steven had Kleenex on his table, which is pretty funny, let's be honest. He's sitting there with gun holsters and tissue. I mean, what is he crying every second? So listen to this.
That's due to allergies, okay? So I had a bronchial thing, which is community guidelines in a mutable condition. It's genetic.
Oh, poor Steven with his allergies. Don't put the tissue on your desk. It's funny. All right? Don't get so twisted up. Look how twisted he gets about me laughing about him crying all the time. He needs a box of tissue on his desk.
But I guess there's a ceasefire here, so we can talk about any genetic conditions like
Sure.
the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head.
That one I didn't get. What's the 120 pounder? Cinderella?
I couldn't really
If
follow.
he's talking about me, I am not.
When Sam comes on in a little bit, you'll
I have
see.
to- I have to know.
Crowder often makes
I need
a
it.
lot of jokes that just don't connect. Like people just don't understand what he's talking about. I'm assuming they're inside jokes for his audience. Things
need
that have
the-
happened on the show that they'll find funny.
I
know all about.
I need
that.
the content.
On the Raw Report, we had plenty of callbacks and regular inside jokes, things that just happened in the spur of the moment.
This is
But
true.
we'd be aware of like
Right-wing
who are
Mandela.
we talking with, who are we cross promoting or doing a cross show with, like what's going on. We wouldn't make those jokes to someone who wouldn't understand. Really, really weird. Really weird. But let's continue. We're almost at the part where they actually have the debate. I just thought it was important to have Ethan's explanation in front of this.
120 pounds. Trust me, dude. We don't have it. Right. Well, anyway.
And to compensate with the beard that he uses.
This is going
just
to
for
take a
men,
while,
or
isn't it?
That's my
eyebrow phrase
favorite.
like
Yep, it's going to take a while. All right, let's just see what's going on. Wait, what? Damn, explain. Steven Crowder 8.
I think our picture should be improved by now.
Yes.
Folks, this is the fun half of the program.
Yay.
And for those of you who may be watching this show for the first time, generally what we do is we do a show from 12 to 1 every day. Eastern. That is the free half of the show. And
All right, so just out of curiosity. Yeah, okay. Because it keeps telling me that my audio is freaking out.
We feature
It keeps telling me I have 0 audio bit rate, but it comes through, so I don't know.
often a long form interview. Sometimes Em and I will run through the news. And very rarely, when we go on vacation, we will pre-tape. Let me read this IM to enter into some explanations for you, because I think some explanations are due you, the audience. This is an IM that we got almost at the beginning of the show. And it's from a guy named Chowder with Crowder, which is fortuitous. Stream resolution kind of fucked up, Sam. You're being squished horizontally, but only the camera feed logo appears normal. And that is correct. That was a correct assessment of what was going on. And the question was, why?
Well, it was to make you look skinnier. And me, incidentally.
That is one of the answers. The other answer, I should also say, has to do with, you will look at my Zoom feed today, and you will notice that my name, you got Emma Vigeland there in the right-hand corner of your, the left-hand corner of your frame. But for
Yeah,
me today, I
true.
don't have Sam Cedar. I have a smiley face. All of these things have to do with each other. Everything, in fact, that we have talked about since the beginning of the show, including the IM, has to do with each other. Let's go back a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe it was 4 weeks ago, I can't remember. I got an IM. I got tweeted at. Sam, you got
Yeah, Steven's gonna get cold feet. I already know this. Like it's going to happen.
name checked on H3. And I was like, H3? I think that's it's a big YouTube show, but I was like, what, what?
Yeah.
And so I went to check it out, and it is hosted by this guy Ethan Klein, who I may know some people who know him in the comedy world. He's out in L.A., but and he looked familiar to me. But that's probably because he looks like family members or whatever. And I was like, what's this about? And it turns out they were talking about Steven Crowder. And Steven Crowder and Ethan were having some type of back and forth. And I didn't know the details of it at the time, but their producer Dan at the end of the segment.
He's okay. So this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave, remember I told you? I said, I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with, mental health issues. Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own fighting.
I gotta say,
It's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
You would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made at the beginning of
Joe
this
Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting to get your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Steven, I mean, it's about issues. Let's talk about those issues.
That's what you're doing here.
Valid points.
You're so clever. I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts eyes.
I wish everything.
You take those off with the velveteen buttons.
We must have been very worried about this, Steven. I don't know why.
No one's
He's so fucking triggered. What? Sam Seder's here. I thought I was going to debate Ethan Klein, but fuck, now I have to make jokes about how Ethan's dodging me, but fuck, I've been dodging Sam for 4 years.
Come on, Sam. I didn't want to do it.
Let's have the
Sam,
debate.
come on. I'll tell you what. I have a general
This is a
rule.
great opportunity.
I don't start a debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging?
How about you get
Steven,
to a
show
30th
yourself,
of the
you
audience
coward.
share?
Steven, show yourself. Don't show your co-host.
Ethan, you should show yourself.
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Steven, you are such a coward. Stop showing your little leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your sidekick.
Come on, Ethan, why do you have to bring on a
Show
guy who has
Steven.
a 30th of the viewership of yourself?
Saddest thing I've ever heard. So you have a guy with less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't?
Well, obviously, if I'm a layup and not a debater.
Well, look, you're the one who called. You're the one who got
Steven's the one that got angry about it.
Steven, don't be such a coward.
All right, hold on. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
But Ethan, look, I don't. Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially I came on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Seder is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just like you claiming my booker reached out to you, Ethan, when you know that's not true. There's no one ducking you, Sam. I've never
afraid.
Sam,
I think you're a smart guy.
I can call out Mike Tyson.
Why
it doesn't mean that I'm ducking him.
So worried about this.
Oh, I can call out Mike Tyson, but it doesn't mean that I'm ducking him. Yeah, it kind of does. If you call him out and tell him you're going to debate him, or you're rather in Mike Tyson's case, you're going to fight him, and then you just cold feet dip, and then you constantly avoid because you're scared, then yeah, you've ducked. You've dodged. You're ducking and dodging and diving and dipping and weaving out of debates with Sam Seder, left and right, because he would dominate you. Because you're dumb.
Why do you feel that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the show?
I don't think anybody
for 10
owes
times
me
as long?
airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't ask him for it, and so
no, you've been begging for it for a long time with everyone
Steven,
bigger than
why
yourself.
Are you so worried about engaging with me?
And so what happens is he uploads 15 times more.
Do you think
has
your
less than a
audience
50th of the audience?
Well, that's why he wants to debate you, is so he can build his.
Wait, I'm sorry. Less than a 50th of the audience? Let's see. It's it's gonna be louder with Crowder. Louder with Crowder. I guess the Steven Crowder.
Elizabeth Warren how to propose.
5.49 million. Yep. Yeah. Okay. 5.49 million. Not bad. The Majority Report. 1.05 million. A 50th of the audience? You mean a fifth?
Sam,
Do you
Sam,
think
come on.
your audience cares that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million subscribers?
Let me answer. Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question?
Sure.
Do you want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben Shapiro's and Dave Rubin.
Who I am.
Now they all know who you are because you had to shoehorn yourself into another coward show.
I'm sorry. Who's the one who said that they would debate Sam Seder at Politicon, and the one who said that they would, debate on Gavin McGinnis' show until they found out that it was Sam Seder? Who uses the same tired excuse? You don't have anywhere near the audience that I have, motherfucker. You debate high school and college kids who don't have a YouTube or Twitter following. The fuck do you want to use that against Sam now? Oh, it's because you're scared. You're gonna get blown out. You dumb. You washed up. You dumb. Get the fuck off of YouTube. Get out of political commentary. Retire. Stop being an idiot.
Students every day that you do that. Change my mind.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Know who those college
This is another
students
lie.
are.
This is another lie. Let me clarify, Sam. Let me clarify, Sam. The change my mind, everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had
How did
professors
you know
on the.
I ended my show early last week, Stephen? If your audience
because
doesn't
you're
even know
an idiot,
me, how
and
did you
half
know
of your
that?
staff
Do
doesn't
you
like
watch my
you.
show?
Because I'm a diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's a diehard fan.
If you're a
I've heard of
diehard
you,
fan,
but I just met you.
Why not
Congratulations,
have me
Sam Cedars
and
fan.
Stephen have a conversation? I will
Well,
talk
right now,
about
every
the
time I
issues
try and
that
talk,
you
you're
want to talk
interrupting,
about,
Sam.
Stephen.
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're interrupting, Sam.
Bombarded the show.
Okay, you bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claim that just like you claim that I ducked a debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told me.
Oh, is that what they told you? So you're just lazy with your research?
And if big tech is,
you continue with the lie. You need to research and say, did Stephen ever accept?
They said you were.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. Let me explain. Hey, whoa,
Sam, and you literally.
Sam.
Bro, Steven, you've been interrupting the entire time. You
Sam,
fucking
sweetheart.
coward.
Sam,
You know what?
fake
This is going to be a
stand-up
group
comic who
activity.
We can't find any footage about online. Let me finish.
I'm not a stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining, which may explain the audience.
Irony alert, Stephen.
Comedian.
How much have you watched of my stuff, Stephen, that you think that your audience
can I answer your question?
appreciate our discussing things?
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comments. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance?
Go like that. On the Twitter. At @DSandwhichpants.
When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? As a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck. They don't pay, and they're full of losers.
What about
and you've been clamoring for it, and it's a lie.
told me that you dropped out of doing
How
his
can you
show
say
because
that
This is just hearsay and gossip.
But how can he
I've never met more of a woman.
Career when he wants to keep debating.
I don't know.
Talk
It's
about any
bizarre.
of this.
All right,
Let's talk
okay.
about the issue.
So,
the
Ethan, do you want to have a conversation, Ethan?
Let's talk
about the
big
vaccine
tech.
because
Ethan, do you want to have a
Absolutely, I do.
conversation? You're going to hide.
Absolutely, I do.
Big tech.
So why are you hiding behind Sandwhichpants?
Oh no! Me and Sam are aligned. I'm not hiding. He just
Well, you're just a
he knows the
liar.
issue.
So you're a liar. Because remember we said, hold on a second.
I mean, it sort of feels like
It's
you guys are the ones
ridiculous.
who are hiding.
Really?
Ethan is
Hiding?
being
No, this is
completely
actually
open about
Who
it.
snuck in on you?
Who's the guy who
Ethan's
never
being
appears
completely
on
open
stage,
about it.
never does a live show,
But it's a comic.
never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program. It's just hiding.
Right.
Everything we do is out in the open.
I'm sorry. I've seen Steven Crowder bits, and I've watched Majority Report, and Steven Crowder is painfully unfunny, and Sam Seder is absolutely hilarious. I almost guarantee that Steven Crowder actually watches 2 shows that Sam Seder has been involved with. One of those is Bob's Burgers. I almost guarantee he watches it. Sam Seder is a writer for and a voice actor on Bob's Burgers. Like, but Steven Crowder doesn't know this.
H3. H3.
Steven,
you know
you're wearing a
that we
holster.
agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second. Yeah? So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
Well, no, you're talking about comedy.
Well,
I mean,
strategy.
that's not very funny.
You have a holster, bro.
Also, your
you have a
sponsor is
holster.
Spartans.
And he takes advantage of mentally ill women for a
main
show with
sponsor is
just
about
women.
gay boy
All right,
love.
okay.
All of it.
All right, Sam. You got it. You got it. I hope you have
No,
a
come on.
I hope you have a
Steven,
wonderful
if-
highlight reel.
Hold on. Let me just make one point.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on,
Ethan
let
will
me make
release the
one
private
point,
messages.
Steven.
Take it easy.
Steven,
All right,
don't
thanks,
bail.
guys. I appreciate it.
Don't bail, you coward.
Hey, Sam, one thing before I go. One thing before I
If
go.
it's
Can you
about
take off your
issues,
glasses?
Steven,
Hold on.
One thing before I go.
I
Can you
just
take
wanna
off your
see-
glasses?
we just wanna see if
I
there's
just want to
buttons.
see if you take them off. If you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part about it.
Steven,
Or if there's a soul.
Let's
Just
debate.
take off the glasses.
Let's debate,
Don't
Steven.
hide behind the
Don't
glasses.
be a
Sam.
coward.
Don't say let's debate, Ethan. You've lost that.
Coward.
All right.
Debate
This
the
is
issues.
sad.
What
This
does
is
it
what
matter
I'm
who
saying.
you debate,
Shut up.
coward?
All right, good. You guys are good. Thank you.
Coward.
Won't even take off the glasses.
I was right.
All right, yeah, you can
run
give me the X.
away.
This
You
is
run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on, Steven.
Wow. Wow. Dude, I can't believe he admit to following.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got
He was prepared to leave. He's a coward, dude. Steven is a coward.
Audience wouldn't know. Here's a guy who literally tracked my show last week because he was afraid that this would happen. Here's a guy who claims to have watched. I don't know. I don't know what it is he said he watched, but he's not worried about audience not knowing who he's debating because he sits down with random college kids and sandbags them on their campus. I have the recording from Politicon when they called and he backed out. I have emails from Gavin McGinnis, whose show I would have never gone on, except he offered up a debate with Crowder, and Crowder left. And so, I think Steven is afraid of debating somebody. Look, I do a political show every day. It's dry,
I don't.
it's boring,
It's obvious.
and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's
so if he
afraid.
wants to debate the issues, what's the difference?
If he wants to debate the issues, why wouldn't he debate the person who does the political commentary every day?
Between me and anybody in the world?
I mean, only that he is convinced that, for whatever reason, he's nervous about debating me. I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case.
But
I debated Charlie Kirk at Politicon. It was fine. I thought Kirk did a fairly good job. I think Steven's not a total idiot, but I also do think he's a bit of a liar.
I mean, yeah, we even went through the effort of tracking down this claim that he never booked us for the show. I mean, here's the email, super professional. So I was like, I reached out to the girl. She said, I said, did you send me this email? She said, yes, I did. Years ago, for a few months, I worked for Steven Crowder booking. I'm not quite sure who you'd contact now. I know his dad does the booking for him. Let me know if you need me to try to find you. How would she know that if she didn't work for them?
What's funny is that when the Politicon, when the woman from Politicon called me, she also mentioned that his dad, she said his team, I think Steven got cold feet, his team pulled him out. And I said, wait, he's got a team? And he said, well, his dad.
Right.
And, I mean, I called my dad to see if he could call Steven's dad, to see if Steven would debate me, like on some type of play date. But my father reminded me that I was a grown man and I should probably handle it myself.
Oh, that's funny. My dad is actually Zooming with his dad later today to debate this very topics.
God damn. Yeah, he dipped. Holy shit.
You know what else he lied about?
That's fucking
filing this
ridiculous.
Lawsuit. There's no lawsuit he ever filed, at least that I can find in the public record, which lawsuits are public record. So he is a liar, as far the evidence does suggest.
Yeah, and the thing is that they go on and on about getting demonetized from YouTube or whatever it is, and they never. For them, it's really just a way of generating clicks. There are.
Oh my god, yeah, you could hear the terror in Crowder's voice as soon as Sam popped in. He put on a good face. He's got a really good poker face, but his eyes don't lie. They had that fear. Oh, jeez. That is awful. Let's retweet. Like for the algorithm.
Oh yes, the same with
Policies.
the lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, there are policies that you could pursue, but he can't ever address those because his ideology is such that there's no way for him to address it as a policy matter. So, because as a policy matter, he'd have to agree that there needs to be government regulation of these things, and he doesn't believe in government regulation. And so he just goes out there and makes it as if it's like conservatives are somehow being oppressed, as
Well,
opposed
that's not.
to.
It's actually not true at all. Everybody who talks about these issues, if they're taking a conservative or liberal stance on them, they're all getting demonetized equally. The fact that the fact that Steven wants to go out there and do a mock execution of George Floyd and then act bewildered when his channel.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Mr. Don Lemon is a cable news host on our competitor over at CNN, and most of the time he talks about, like so many, Don Lemon is also a victim, a successful victim. And so we asked on the film in Sag Harbor, New York. Sag Harbor is just 3% African American. Now, in the interview, Mr. Lemon heard from the White House, from the president himself.
Oh. Yeah, it's an old fucking racist caricature. You know what? He's not white. You know who can't criticize him for owning this? This Nazi.
Gets when his videos get demonetized it's quite surprising to me that he would even be feigned surprised at that.
Yeah, we get. I don't know what our percentage of demonetization is for our videos. It happens. We just don't whine about it like they do and use it to generate clicks. It's because we're willing to talk about topics that we know. I mean, we don't do shit like what Crowder does that are just out and out racist and homophobic, but we will talk about protests. We will talk about political situations that advertisers don't want to be a part of.
Absolutely,
and that's just part of doing the job responsibly. Is understanding you're not going to be able to suck a dollar out of every single bit of content if you're actually trying to make a point about issues.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. Another way to know that I am not. Oh shit.
This guy has avoided saying Sam Seder's name out of fear that if he puts Sam's name out there, people will look up Sam and find out that Steven Crowder is terrified of debating Sam. Terrified of it.
Support fellow streamer Matt Binder. Alright, we're good. Yep. In a sense, yeah, it kind of is. But, that just kind of happens when there are so many grifters that Jank actually is. Jank is responsible for people like Dave Rubin and Jimmy Dore. I hate to say it. No, I don't. Jank, they're your fault. You gave them relevance. You did this. Which I know he acknowledged and was like, I'm fucking sorry about the Jimmy Dore one. You still haven't apologized for Dave Rubin, but he's such a clown, I don't know if you need to. What? Having sex, huh? Nope. God, no. I don't know what that's about, so. I wish I could get those numbers. No, I got 65 of you here, which I appreciate. Honestly, I do. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. And if you've enjoyed the stream so far, hit that like Reno button, and maybe the subscribe, and you can watch a zombie walk across the screen if you do that second one. And also to hear me say thank you very much for the subscription. And if you decide not to do those things, then that's that's still cool with me. Uh, I still appreciate you for tuning in because you still get me watch hours. If you're hate watching because I went in on Jimmy Dore and just utterly obliterated. He's decimated. He's done. He's canceled. Okay. God, I don't even have a webcam. That's how broke I am. So you can't see the hand gestures and the sassiness that I am giving all of my statements right now. Cause yeah, I was just going off on it, you know. Kind of get the John Cena hands going, except you use both hands instead of just one hand. The other hand goes like near the cheek. It's dumb shit. By the way, I'm kind of an idiot. Yeah, I don't think that this is a major deal. Um, I think that's why it became a news thing, is because they do sensational shit. How was a year ago, blah blah. I don't know who you are. This thing has 31,000 views. Who are you?
Have you ever looked at something and thought to yourself, I wonder how it got that name? Well, if you haven't, that's fine, but I certainly have. Hi there, I'm Patrick, and welcome to Name Explain. And if you hadn't guessed by now, I love names. Whether that's the name of a location, name of a person, or name of a brand, they're all amazing. Every name has a history.
Okay. This guy just or this individual, I guess, this person explains names. Okay, just a guy. Okay, there we go. They say their own gender, pronouns at least. Okay, is there anything else that I want to cover here? What? Bungie being woke?
All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in this video today, we're going to be covering a news story that has recently come up. And normally in my videos, I like to take a more lighthearted tone, make some jokes, talk about memes, stuff like that. But for this video, it's actually a really serious topic, and someone has actually seriously violated the code of conduct and has been banned.
Okay, so for YouTube purposes, the goal of this segment that I am currently on is to go over and criticize his takes as well as the article if I have any takes or if he has any takes that I feel I should criticize.
From their out-of-game actions, they've been banned in-game inside Destiny 2. That person is, of course, right up on your screen there. We've got Indica, who was a former world's first raider, someone who's been pretty prolific within the community. They were formerly on the Team Redeem when they got that world's first. Back in the day in Last Wish, there's literally only 12 people in the world that got that emblem. and now 11 because this person has been banned. So literally the most exclusive emblem in the game. Obviously, someone who's an avid Destiny 2 player. They have been permanently banned in the game now. I'll show you this right here. This is a screenshot from their Steam account. You can see that says 1 game ban as of 0 days ago. So they've been banned by Bungie, developer ban. And here is the raid report. You can see, I'll pull this up. Raid report shows that we got Flesh Crunch, Sweatsko, Error, Indica, that's the point person banned, Modern, and Glad. That was the team that actually won that world's first raid. Nothing against these guys, though, of course. This had nothing to do with them. He has since left that team a long time ago. This is just a little bit of context of who this person is so that we can understand the severity of the accusations that are being made.
I am honestly very glad that he made it a point to say that the other people were not involved in any way. He'd already left that team before this, so
and understand how this person had such a big part of the Destiny community. So Meso here actually gave a twitlonger that gave a detailed description of a variety of different things in regards to what Indica has done throughout the history of being a Destiny player. So you can scroll down and you can see this thing is like a very, very long list, if I'm going to be completely honest. We've got homophobia, we've got racism, which is, that's terrible. Racism and, even accusations of DDoSing, and there's so much evidence.
Whoa.
Screenshots. There's so many different content creators that have had interactions with him that were just absolutely terrible. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. If you want to, you can obviously look up this twitlonger yourself and figure out everything if you want to get the full context. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to be skipping a lot of this stuff because a lot is pretty terrible, and you can get the gist of it that this person obviously was a pretty terrible person and definitely deserved to be banned in-game for their out-of-game actions. In fact, DMG community manager actually tweeted out this saying, a quick refresher on the code of conduct, which was more or less speaking about the topic because it happened right at the same time. And if you read the code of conduct, it says right here, we will remove the following content and the users who contribute it from our website or our games if they, 1, for disrespect of any kind, including hate speech based on but not limited to race, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, or nationality. Number 2 is attempts of privacy or sharing in-game activities. Material is either because we're doing that in-game for that. No place in the community has no permanently banned, and I'm definitely happy to see the Bungie devs actually step up on this one and make sure to get this out of the community because this is very hateful and it has no place in the community, has no place in the world in 2021, let alone in a game, especially within the community. And so kudos to Bungie for actually stepping up and doing this.
All right. I'll applaud Bungie on that one. Wow. Yeah. If a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old are actually shooting actively at police, that's kind of a self-defense question there. I don't know how to feel about that. He's even saying, "Don't make me do this." He doesn't want to kill kids. I have to know. What are we dealing with? That's about right. I don't need that. I don't need that. Okay, see, I can understand shitting on Republicans, but here's the deal. You need to do more than that. You need to move away from just hitting the conservative party and power. You also need to hit the people who fund them and the people who back them with rhetorical skills so strong they can't help but to see your way of logic. That's yeah. Did you know that your fiance just swallowed a bunch of crack? What?
Listen to my grave. Such a way with words.
Hey.
Real talk, Mix. You come to America looking like that, I will the shit out of you. That's not even a.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house.
Ben Shapiro.
Did she like that? It feels like she liked it. Hot Chubby realized something. Wait, I want to see the comments on this. They call him Wheels, the aluminum sarcophagus. Protects him from bullets. They call him King Tut. Soul Reed? Soul Reed! Hey,
Okay.
if you like this...
How to get views on Twitch. Fart into your microphone. That's what I've learned. If you actively want people to follow you on Twitch, you state your opinion, you be cute, which I am not that capable of, and also you fart. That is the thing that I've learned recently. So how's this one for you? How's this? It was a good one. Yeah. The first one's free. I'm kidding. I didn't fart. That was a hand fart. Wait, is that where this came from? Well, this is Destiny we're talking about, and Destiny is also a dumb fuck. So. Oh God. Really? Fucking really? China uncensored. Guys, I have to go to bed. I can't.
The Chinese Communist Party says there's no genocide in Xinjiang. And I totally believe that. Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Well, everyone, I was wrong. There is no genocide in Xinjiang. The Chinese Communist Party is not trying to eliminate the Uyghur ethnic minority, who are all extremely happy all the time, especially when they dance. How did I see the error of my ways? Was it
Okay, it's troll. I get it. Yep, he's doing the. Yep.
all of the YouTube comments calling me a CIA puppet. Close. It was this magnificent documentary.
Dating from remote antiquity, Xinjiang has been an integral and inseparable part of the Chinese territory, and indeed a land of special significance. Under the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee, under the exceptional care of the party and the central government have devoted,
Oh
with
God.
the generous assistance from the 19
Oh,
pairing out
no.
provinces and cities, and through the concerted efforts of carters and the masses of all ethnic groups, Xinjiang has been transformed into a land of life, a land of thriving vitality.
Yes, Xinjiang has been a part of Chinese territory since ancient times, which is why Xinjiang literally means new frontier. And I am especially convinced of the exceptional care of the Communist Party. I mean, there were happy dancing ethnic minorities and doves of peace and thriving vitality. How can you argue with that? You know what? This is too much sarcasm even for me. If you think anyone who buys this kind of propaganda must be an idiot, well, there are a lot of idiots out there. That's why some Western governments are actually saying we shouldn't call what's happening in Xinjiang genocide. New Zealand is the latest example. They're not.
Okay. Huh. They're not. Oh my God. Okay, this fresh and fit clips. If you're a dude, you should just avoid this, or if you just have to check it out, um, listen to the women. Listen to the women. Seriously. The three dudes here may be repulsed by sexually promiscuous women, but your boy here ain't. Hit it up. Like shit. I ain't got no problem with it. Do what you do. You want to get railed behind the dumpster before you go into a fucking restaurant to eat? Go for it. That, not legal advice. You probably shouldn't actually do that. Yeah, rams can kill themselves. It's pretty fucked up. What? What the fuck are you talking about? Just some guy. I don't know. Why do these pop up? Mike Figueredo, and is that Hunter Avalon versus Officer Tatum? No, who is that? Okay, it's a Destiny debate, but I have to watch these reactions off stream because I do get demonetized for shit like that. It sucks, but it's all right. Uh, I'm actually about to dip on out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I honestly do really appreciate it. It's it's been a day, all right, and tomorrow is even crazier. I have to go in and do work way harder and more and the stuff. So there's that. Yeah, I got to get into work at like 6:40, 6:30, somewhere around there. Start getting everything lined out. Pretty solid, pretty solid thing. But yeah, I hope y'all have a great night. Seriously, and again, thank you for tuning in. If you do like, or if fuck, even if you just want to hate watch me and try and shit talk me in the comments or live chat, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You might as well. You'll get notified of videos. You can just 2 minutes to hate me, and well, I'll reply probably snarkily because most of the people who comment on my stuff are just defending Jimmy Dore, and they're all stupid. So have a good night.